Well. The Cowboys, of course, we know, got demolished by the Denver Broncos. And everybody is losing their minds that the Cowboys are out of it. Well, it is Overreaction Monday. So let's go. Hey, say what you want to say on Monday. It is Overreaction Monday, and then we come back to our senses on Tuesday. I know this is going to make some people mad, but the Dallas Cowboys are not out of the playoffs. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. As you come into this live stream, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And we are live. And if you haven't become a channel member, subscriber yet, please do. We have a lot of things, great things coming up this season. Now let's talk facts. Now, it is Overreaction Monday. And everybody got something to say about the Dallas Cowboys. Well, we also got something to say about the Dallas Cowboys. I have some things to say about the Dallas Cowboys. And we will overreact like we do every Monday, but at the same time, I gotta also keep y'all in reality. This season for the Dallas Cowboys, it is far from over. We got a long way to go. We're about to hit that midway point. We need this game Monday night. But until then, let's listen to some of the reactions from people people around this team. Let's look at the show we're going to talk about today. I think we got a great show. So today, I got about 7 overreactions. Brandy, I got to go ahead and throw this up there because this is an overreaction, but I love it. Brandy said, we will win 9 in a row. Let's go. Brandy said we winning 9 in a row. I love it. I absolutely... Brandy's overreaction is in the opposite direction because a lot of people are saying it's over. Brandy said 9 in a row. I appreciate you, Brandy. So this is gonna be today's show. Today, overreactions. 7 overreactions that I wrote down today. Man, this Michael Irvin response to the Cowboys loss is, man, it is perfect. It is perfect. We're gonna listen to it together. I'm telling you, Michael Irvin has had the greatest reaction of the day. We're also gonna listen to Stephen Jones. We're gonna listen to a little bit of Dak Prescott. I went through, listened to it this morning, dropped the video about it. I'm gonna let you hear the part that I put in the video because I think Dak's message is powerful. Then we're gonna listen to some of the player reactions from over on DallasCowboys.com. And then by that time, we'll be getting close to tonight's game. I believe the Washington Commanders play tonight, and I want to check that out. So we'll quit right before then, but we will talk about the NFC East race right before we quit and right before the Washington Commanders come on. So, overreactions, Michael Irvin, Stephen Jones, Dak's message, player reactions, NFC East. We have a great show for today. Yep. Let's go. Let's get a quick roll call, and then we're going to get into our overreactions. And I'll be reading some of y'all overreactions too. Brandy already got me over here rolling. I love the way she started the show. Brandy said we winning 9 in a row. Let's get it. Way to start the show, Brandy. Let's go. Lord Nova in this thing. Lord Nova, what up with you? He said, go Cowboys. Dominique, let's get into it. Yeah, we doing it today. Tony Nichols, what's going on? Brandy said, hey y'all. What up, Brandy? It is my man, Bump TY5X866. He said East Texas tapping in from the 903 Long Live Pimp C. Yes, sir. That's where I'm from, the 903. What's going on, Bump? What's going on? Recent Money. What's going on? Hey, I tell them older brothers, Recent Money, since your name is Recent Money, let me hold something. He said, oh, we cooked. Not quite yet. We not quite cooked, but hey, we on the cabinet getting ready to put in the oven. We gotta win this game Monday night. Andre Fields, what's going on? I am him. Let's go. Duckface, Quack Quack, what's going on? LaQueen, my sister from the beginning, what's going on with you? She said, I'm still rolling with my boys. LaQueen, I'm rolling even after the wheels fall off. I'm skating down the highway with sparks flying up, with nothing but the frame in that thing, LaQueen. I'm with you. Dominique Pittman, he said, well, we really want to see this team in the playoffs as bad as this defense looks. Well, I can tell you this, Dominique, if they make it to the playoffs, that means that defense has improved. I would definitely want to see it. Too Tall Jones, what up with you? Brandon, now you can't go back and say I'm just playing. No, it's Overreact Monday. You come back on Tuesday and say you were just playing. Sean Jones, he said, what up, G? He said, G, but I said, so New Jack City. Greg Holland, what's going on? He said, the difference sucks. What's going on with you? JCT Slice. He said, this game was a disgrace. Everyone bears blame for this loss, including Dak Prescott. I love Dak to death, but my guy didn't play great. It's one game, though. JCT Slice, I am here to defend Dak Prescott. I'm going to say something that some people may not like, JCT Slice. I don't think Dak Prescott played as bad as the game plan was bad. The play calling by Brian Schottenheimer was atrocious. You got to tell me, how do you not attack number 21, Moss, who on CeeDee Lamb? You got CeeDee Lamb running comeback routes, out routes. I mean, come on, man. Send this dude, man, take this dude Moss out into the deep and burn him over and over and over. Patrick Surtain goes out in the second quarter. I think it was the second quarter. And then you don't just feed George Pickens. Man, they got to get off this stuff about we got to make sure that George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb get the same amount of passes or whatever they're doing. No, you get the ball to whoever's got the hot hand, and we'll deal with the rest later. And George Pickens right now seems to be unstoppable. They got to stop this. They have to stop this, because I'm telling you, George Pickens, man, you ever heard somebody say you ever heard a wide receiver say, I'm always open? George Pickens is always open, even when he's not open. Nah, man. You got to get this ball to George Pickens on a day like yesterday, and the Cowboys fail trying to distribute the ball. Man, forget all that stuff. CeeDee Lamb is still top 3, number 1 in my book, but George Pickens is playing out of his mind right now. CeeDee Lamb is coming back from injury. The Cowboys, Dak Prescott didn't play as bad as that game plan was bad going up against the Denver Broncos. It was bad. Lock and D, what's going on? Texas Guns, my man Ron Hanna up in this thing. What up, Ron Hanna? Davion Wallace, what's going on with you? Good to see you today. I can't forget Alicia. Alicia, what's going on? She said, let's go, boys. I still believe I'm rolling with them boys till the sparks fly off the frame. Let's go. Poopy D up in this thing. Got my back in here. What's going on, Poopy D? Good to see you. Irvin Green, he said, I hope it's over. Irvin Green, I don't hope it's over. It's Brian Schottenheimer's first year. We got to give him, I said this when the season started. Man, y'all got to understand. A first-year coach going to the Super Bowl, brand new staff, implementing a brand new defense. Man, I told y'all from the beginning that was a tall glass. I told you the Cowboys are going to flash. They're going to continue to flash. We're going to see the best of the Cowboys, we're going to see the worst of the Cowboys. We're going to see the potential of the Cowboys, and then we're going to see the detriment of the Cowboys. We're going to see all of that this year. It's going to take them a year to get this thing where they want it. But again, with a little bit of luck, who knows what the Cowboys can do at the trade deadline? I don't think one player's do it. One player does it. But you never know what the Cowboys may pull off. So we're going to keep rolling until we can't roll no more. And even then, we scraping down the road on that frame. Chris Hargrave, what's going on with you? Good to see you. Austin, J Texas made, the true Texan up in this thing. What's going on? Timothy Govin, let's go. Let's get a couple of more greetings and we're going to get to it. Joe Trenchina, what's going on with you? Derek Waller, good to see you. East Dallas, what up with you? Let's go. And then last but not least, we got Christian Newman. All right. Anybody else will greet you as you come in and as we get to talking about this conversation. All right, so let's get to our first topic for the day. Let's deal with our overreactions. Overreactions. And I wrote this down today. I have 7 overreactions. Some of them, other people have a couple of these. They're just my own. But some people may not like my take on this, and that's okay too. So let's get into overreaction number 1. And I got these as a list. Why not show them on the screen? Overreaction number 1. Overreaction number 1. Fire Matt Eberflus. Fire Matt Eberflus. Everybody is saying fire Matt Eberflus. Sounds good in theory. And I wouldn't blame the Cowboys if they did fire Matt Eberflus. I just don't know. And I say this, and I had a lady tell me one time, don't ever say it cannot be worse. She said, because it can get worse. Well, I'm struggling with how can it get much worse than what we're seeing from the Cowboys right now? How can it get much worse with what we're seeing with Cowboys right now? And I know you're going to see a lot of people talking about fire Matt Eberflus. It is not happening. I don't see it happening. I don't see Jerry Jones firing Matt Eberflus. And the reason why I don't see him firing Matt Eberflus is because Stephen Jones already said it. And Jerry Jones said it too. Now, I'm not saying that they can't go back on what they said. But Stephen Jones said, one of the problems we've had 3 defensive coordinators now in 3 years. Getting players for 3 different defensive coordinators. We're watching players on this team from the outside. We're watching players on this team left over from previous defensive coordinators. We are watching a hodgepodge of defensive players with no leader. Now, the leader is DeMarion Overshown. And the Cowboys, one of the worst things I think they've been trying to do, they've been trying to make people into leaders who I don't think earn those leadership positions. They let go of DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence was a leader. They wanted Michael Parsons to be a leader. I'm not sure he was viewed as a leader. They want Trayvon Diggs. They wanted him to be somewhat of a leader. But that's not Trayvon Diggs. They want the guys who they pay the money to be the leaders. Well, these guys lead by example, but they don't really have that voice and that person with that performance of that to go along with that voice. So they're going to get that voice back. That voice is going to be Demarion Overshown. But the reality of the situation is, y'all do understand that for the Cowboys to fire Matt Eberflus, and this is one of the main reasons I don't think they're going to fire Matt Eberflus amongst many I can think of why they are not going to fire Matt Eberflus. Because to fire Matt Eberflus is not only to admit failure, but it is to say the season is over. And I'm telling you right now, the Cowboys are danged if they do. They're danged if they don't. If they fire him, they're danged, because I don't see anybody you could bring in to where that defense gets better over the next, 4 or 5 weeks. Because now you're going to have another defensive coordinator, and he's going to have to put his system in, and then they're going to have to get used to his system and the way he wants to do it. How long will that take? We've watched this defense. Do y'all know we've watched some of these same players on this defense for 3 straight years? And every single time, they have the same problem. They got with Mike Zimmer. They didn't get the system until Thanksgiving. Now under Matt Eberflus, I don't think they're going to get the system. I'll just be honest with you. I don't think they're going to get the system. So at this point, if you were to bring in another coach, you're saying we failed. You're saying we failed. I think the Cowboys are going to ride it out. Now, I'm not telling you I'm opposed to them firing Matt Eberflus. I'm not telling you I'm opposed to it. I'm just giving you the reality, listening to Jerry and Steven. I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to do it. And another reason why I don't think they're going to fire Matt Eberflus is because if you look at the tape of this game, there is something that is undeniable about this team. Poor tackling, bad angles. I don't know if you call it a lack of effort or what, but I definitely tell you this: they get blown. They get blew off the ball. They get blew off the ball. I mean, to watch the tape and to watch how the Denver Broncos just ran through the Cowboys. I'll agree with you if you tell me a scheme, but I can't agree with it if you're telling me it's only the scheme. I can't agree with anybody who say it's only the scheme. I don't think the Cowboys are going to fire Matt Eberflus. And for every game that you play, it makes less sense. It makes less sense. Every single game you play, it makes less sense. If he's not fired this week, you will have played 9 games. You have 8 games left. That means that you would have to bring somebody in during the bye week, and you would have to say, throw something together and have us ready by the time we play the Las Vegas Raiders. That game plan would have to be ready by the time you play Las Vegas. Then you got to take that brand new game plan in to play the Kansas City Chiefs. How do you do it? How do you do it? Wait a minute. Is it the Raiders? You would have to take that game plan to the Raiders, take that game plan to the Eagles, and then on a short week, you'd have to take that game plan to the Chiefs. You're probably talking about 3 guaranteed losses. And that's why I'm telling you, danged if you do, danged if you don't. Man, this is one of them things. I think what happened is I don't even know if it's what happened, but we've gotten so deep in the season. I just don't think it makes sense. I don't think it makes sense from the Cowboys' perspective. I don't think it makes sense. I think the Cowboys are going to continue to try to see if they can tinker with this, see if they can get Matt Eberflus to maybe do something different. And I do think the Cowboys are going to do something at the trade deadline, contrary to what people have told you. I'm laughing. Trey Wingo, boy, this dude, Trey Wingo, hit Clarence Hill with a body blow today. I think it was either today or yesterday. Clarence Hill, boy, Trey Wingo hit this dude with a body blow. Clarence Hill, of course, because I'm telling you, the Dallas media, they're never going to let it die about Micah Parsons. You'll notice I got Micah Parsons on one of the overreactions. They're never going to let it go with the Micah Parsons thing. I'll talk about that when I get there. But Clarence Hill says on X, he says, yeah, you know, they told us they fixed the running game, but they lied. This is Clarence Hill. And Trey Wingo said, yeah, the same way they lied to you when they told you that they didn't call the Raiders about Max Crosby. Body blow. Body blow. And Jay Glazer reported. And I'm believing Jay Glazer. Y'all can believe who you want to. I'm believing Jay Glazer. I'm believing Trey Wingo. And I'm believing Jay Glazer. I think this is his name. I'm believing Glazer over anybody out here who tries to tell you they got inside information when I know they don't have inside information. Because now other people are starting to concede. The Cowboys have been on the phone. They've been on the phone. Contrary to what people are telling you, the Cowboys have been on the phone. The Cowboys were trying to bring in Trey Hendrickson and Max Crosby. And the Bengals, as I call them, the Bengals and the Raiders both turned the Cowboys down cold. Turned them down cold. And I do think that the Cowboys may actually steal. I think they're still going to try to swing at Max Crosby. I think they're going to try to take one more swing. I believe Max Crosby was the one that they wanted because it made more sense. Trey Hendrickson don't make sense to me. Because Trey Hendrickson, if you bring him in, you're going to be worried about a deal in another year. You get Max Crosby, you're not worried about a deal for what, 3 years? This year and then 2 more? You're not worried about Max Crosby. It fits the window. It fits the 26-27 window of where I think the Cowboys make the Super Bowl run. It fits the window. But at the end of the day, I don't think the Cowboys are going to fire Matt Eberflus because I know I think they might actually, in some universe, I think they may believe in the scheme. I think the Cowboys may actually be convinced they don't have the players. And a part of that is true. And this may be the very thing that's going to save Matt Eberflus because he don't have the players. The reality is because, y'all, we got to sometimes learn to be balanced in our overreactions. We got to learn how to be objective rather than subjective. Some people, they just talk from their own narrative. They create a narrative and then they find the evidence to say, this proves my narrative, and they call their narrative truth. Well, I'm going to just tell you the pure truth objectively. Matt Eberflus does not have the talent on the side of the offense like Brian Schottenheimer, on the defensive side, like Brian Schottenheimer has on the offensive side. Brian Schottenheimer has Dak Prescott. He's got Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. They brought in George Pickens, Javonte Williams, Kevontae Turpin, Tyler Booker, Ty Smith, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Guyton, and Terrence Steele. Kind of got some question marks beside Terrence Steele and Tyler Guyton. But overall, Brian Schottenheimer has everything he needs. Everything he needs, including just understand Brian Schottenheimer has ammunition even on the bench. Ryan Flanoy. Got to see what Jonathan Mingo is. Jalen Tolbert. Jaden Blue. Malik Davis. Hunter Lipke. Jake Ferguson. Spanford. Man, when you think about what Brian Schottenheimer has on offense, it's a dream. It's an absolute dream to have what he has on offense. Okay, now let's go to the defense. What does Matt Eberflus really have? See, we got to tell the whole truth. What does Matt Eberflus really have? I'm not telling you that somebody else wouldn't have had this defense looking better. That's not what I'm telling you. But I am telling you, when it comes to what he has on the other side of the ball, they traded Micah Parsons. Love it, like it, or hate it. I'm speaking from a neutral perspective. Love it, like it, or hate it, they traded Micah Parsons. He don't have DeMarion Overshown. The Cowboys are furious at Trayvon Diggs. We're not even going to try to say anything about Trayvon Diggs, positive or negative. End of the day, him and the Cowboys, I said it at the beginning of the season, they were at war. And that in itself made this thing very volatile. So when you think about the defense, when you look at the talent, they brought in Kenny Clark, had Oso Digizua. Anybody been hearing Oso Digizua name this year? Anybody been hearing Oso Digizua name this year? Donovan Ezeraku is a rookie. James Houston has been a surprise. Brought in Jadeveon Clowney late. Dante Fowler and Sam Williams have been two of the biggest disappointments for the Cowboys. That's the defensive line talent. Linebacking talent. DeMarion Overshown, been injured since last year. Sanborn. Brought in Sanborn. Brought in Murray. Got Maurice Leofau. I forgot about Marshawn Nealon on the line. He hasn't played up to par. He's been injured. The linebacker crew, Sanborn, Murray, Maurice Leofau, Damone Clark, Shamar James, safeties, Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson, Marquise Bell, Wanye Thomas, corners, Kyer Elam, Deron Bland, Trevon Diggs for a little while. We brought in Reddy. When you boil all that down, I'm not telling you that some of those defensive players aren't talented. They pale in comparison to what Brian Schottenheimer has on the offensive side of the ball. And I think the Cowboys may actually be looking at that. I don't think the Cowboys are going to let go of Matt Eberflus. I'm not telling you it don't make sense to let go of Matt Eberflus. I'm not telling you I don't want them to let go of Matt Eberflus. I'm just telling you the reasons why I don't think they're going to get rid of Matt Eberflus. Because when you think about this from the perspective of objectivity, to let go of Matt Eberflus, you're saying we give in. We're on to next year. We're on to next year. Dominic Pittman, he said, Z, I'm sorry, I respectfully disagree. I don't believe they're on the phone. Yeah, they were. No, Dominic Pittman, it is a fact. They were on the phone. They were on the phone. Jay Glazer said they were on the phone. And y'all got to learn how to interpret Jerry Jones. See, sometimes we're thinking Jerry Jones is just saying something to be saying something, Dominic Pittman. But Jerry Jones ain't saying something to be saying something. When Jerry Jones is telling us that whoever picks up the phone first has no negotiating power, Jerry is saying that, Dominic Pittman, because he's picked up the phone. And Dominic Pittman, that F them picks thing, I'm not buying it. I never bought it. I'm not buying it. Because Jerry Jones said it, and other people are already saying the same thing. There is not one player you can bring in that fixes this defense. The player that you bring in for the trade deadline, we need to get this in our minds. If that player is a first-round draft pick worthy player, that player is not for this season. That player is for this season and the next 2 seasons. That they're gonna try to get this thing together after the season, while let's just do what we can with the offense right now. Because how do you fix the defense in 9 games? How do you do it? Let's say you fire Matt Eberflus today. I'm not telling you the Cowboys will. I'm not telling you they won't. But if you were to fire Matt Eberflus today, how do you fix it in 9 games? How do you fix it? Myles Garrett, bring him in. Myles Garrett, if the 2 first-round picks, give it up for Myles Garrett, because I would. Myles Garrett don't immediately fix the Cowboys. You still got Matt Eberflus scheme. You still got the linebacker issue. Demarion Overshown is coming back, but we got to understand, we don't know exactly what he's going to be. I think he does help the Cowboys when he comes back, and I just think from the mental perspective, he's going to help the Cowboys exponentially. He is going to help the Cowboys. But to think that he is going to propel, and boy, I'm telling you this, subjectively, I hope that he does. But to think that he's going to propel us to top 15 defense, we got way more problems. Myles Garrett, Overshown, you got to bring in multiple players to fix this defense. That's why even Jerry has come to the conclusion. There is no single player that can fix this defense. There's no single player. So if you bring in a Myles Garrett, understand what it is. Myles Garrett isn't for this season. Myles Garrett is under contract, so he would be a part of your plan for the next 2 seasons. I've already told y'all this. I got to keep reminding you. I told you 2026 is the season. I've been saying this for an entire year now. I've been saying, somebody called me out on X this morning. And, it's friendly banter. No animosity. We were laughing about it. He said, do you still think the Cowboys going to win the Super Bowl in 2026? I said, yes. Because I told y'all this season what was going to happen. The Cowboys were going to flash. Y'all know why everybody's so anxious to get rid of Matt Eberflus? Y'all want to know why everybody is saying the way Dak Prescott is playing, we need to get some players? Because they're flashing. And I told you they would. I told you they would flash because George Pickens is going to go down in 2025, if everybody is truly honest. George Pickens is going to go down in 2025 as the greatest trade of 2025. Name me a player, and I'm including Michael Parsons, and I'm telling you, and I'm not telling you it's not a tight race, but the Green Bay Packers were already good. I'm going to talk about this in a moment. They were already good. Michael Parsons went over there. He got some dogs with him, and they should be even better, and we'll see how this season ends. But he is more icing on the cake for them. They were already good. But George Pickens has elevated the Cowboys offense to levels that are incredible. And if the Cowboys would actually feed George Pickens the way that they should have yesterday, If they would have really fed George Pickens the way that they should have yesterday, rather than worried about, okay, we got to get them the, equal. I'm not worried about equal catches. No. I'm not worried about equal catches between CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. CeeDee Lamb is coming off an injury. George Pickens got the hot hand. I would have torched Denver with George Pickens yesterday. I would have torched them. Especially when Patrick Surtain went down. What? I wish Patrick Surtain would have went down in the game where I'm the offense coordinator. I would have did exactly what Sean Payton did. Sean Payton looked at his play sheet and said, what plays do I have to go to the receiver that Triquez Bridges is on? I would have did the same thing with George Pickens, and the Cowboys didn't do that. George Pickens is going to go down as the greatest trade of 2025. The absolute greatest trade of 2025. Green Bay was already good. They already went to the playoffs last year. I'm telling us, this dude, George Pickens, has been that great for the Cowboys. And I'm telling you, this dude, George Pickens, the only thing holding him back, and I mean this with all due respect because I love Shotty, love CeeDee Lamb, the only thing holding George Pickens back is the fact that this team feels, CeeDee Lamb is the number one receiver on this team. He's been here. He's paid his dues. The Cowboys want to make sure that they still feed CeeDee Lamb. But I'm telling you, that game yesterday, they should have been feeding George Pickens. Straight up, I don't care about all this equality stuff. I don't care about fair. You want fair? Go to the fair and get you some cotton candy. George Pickens should have been getting fed yesterday. But I'm saying all that to say, George Pickens is going to go down as the greatest trade of 2025. If you look at the talent level on the offense, on the defensive side of the ball, we may not realize it, but we may be answering our own question. They traded away Michael Parsons, because I've been hearing people make this argument. So if I'm Matt Eberflus, if I'm going to play, and I'm not going to play devil's advocate, I'm just going to play objectivity here. If I'm somebody talking about Matt Eberflus, if I'm Matt Eberflus, I'm going to tell you straight up. You do know you traded away Michael Parsons, right? I'm going to tell you to your face. You gave Brian George Pickens. You gave Green Bay Michael Parsons. I can even go farther and tell you this. My entire defensive scheme was predicated on Michael Parsons. And y'all traded them away. That in itself is a great argument. That in itself is a great argument. Because I could clearly tell you, my scheme would work better if Michael Parsons was here. I don't believe it would be. I think it would be better. I think we would be better, but how much better? Because the stuff we're seeing, it's a hot mess all around. But I'm telling you, Matt Eberflus, I've told people already, get ready. I just don't think the Cowboys are going to fire Matt Eberflus. I don't think they're going to fire him. Because to fire Matt Eberflus is to admit failure. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to try to see if they can get, I think they're going to, hey, let's see what we look like with the Marion Overshown. And by that time, what would be the point? Because again, if you do it at that point, we already know the season is over. So unless there's a mutiny, I don't think they're going to do it. I think the Cowboys are going to ride it out. Love it, like it, or hate it. I'm just telling you the logic behind why I think they're going to do it. Jamalism said, "What up, G? I'm trying to understand how Milton was able to hit Tolbert on the same corner that covered. Oh, on the same corner that covered CD." Jamalism. I'm gonna give you the very simple answer. I'm gonna give you the very simple answer. The one thing I learned about Joe Milton. And I talked about it even in the preseason. Joe Milton doesn't have a lot of touch on the ball, doesn't throw the short to intermediate routes good. But I can tell you what he does throw good. He throws a deep ball. He throws it good. He can throw a deep ball to a spot. He can absolutely throw a deep ball to a spot, and I mean, bam. Not to mention, Jamal, I'm going to kind of preface this also with, man, it's garbage time. It's garbage time. I'm not even sure I'm not even sure what the Denver Broncos got going on out there totally personnel defensive-wise. Because I can tell you this, had it been a crucial situation, Joe Milton wouldn't even have as much time to just wind up and throw that ball like he did. But I don't put much stock into it because of the time of the game, at what point in the game it occurred. But I'll also say this. I don't think Brian didn't call the game right. Because those are the kind of plays, to me, he should have been calling the whole game. Dak Prescott can throw a deep ball. You don't have to get Dak to throw it 70 yards. There were plenty of opportunities that they could have went 40 and 50 yards. Dak Prescott can do that with his eyes closed. I just don't think Brian called the game right. And maybe that play is an example of it. I don't think he called the game right. Let's read these super chats and we're going to go on to the next thing. Divine King, he said 4 playmakers on the field at all times. CD, GP, Ferg, and Jay Will. And you want me to believe the Broncos stop all of them. I ain't buying it, G. Football teams will only be as good as their coaches are. Shoddy, are you him or not? Yep. Divine King, I talked about it yesterday and you hear me say it now. Brian Schottenheimer called a terrible game. And Brian Schottenheimer admitted it. He called a terrible game. And Brian Schottenheimer's game calling is not the same on the road. When he's at home, he's calling these plays like he's dialing them up. When he's on the road, he plays very scared. He's playing like on the road, he's playing like he doesn't want to make mistakes. But in trying not to make a mistake, they're making mistakes. He doesn't play, the team doesn't play loose on the road. The only game that I can recall they played loose on the road is the Jets. And I think one of the reasons why they played so loose against the Jets is because Justin Fields is just not that good. But the Chicago Bears, they seem tense. The Carolina Panthers, they seemed unprepared. The Denver Broncos, they got out physical, moved off the ball, and anything else. I mean, what's the deal with this team? What's the deal with this team? Dak Prescott said, and we'll get to Dak Prescott, but I'm telling you, what's the deal with this team? Brian Schottenheimer is 2 different coaches. He's a different coach at home, and he's a different coach on the road. You just wait till we get to Michael Irvin. Y'all think, man, I'm telling you, y'all gonna call me a prophet before it's over. Michael Irvin is echoing my very sentiments about this whole game plan with the Dallas Cowboys and Brian Schottenheimer. Even the stuff I told y'all yesterday. Y'all can love it, like it, or hate it. I'm telling you, I'm dealing in reality. People are, it's not fair that the offense has to score 35 points on the road and 40 points at home to win. It's not fair. You want fair? Go to the fair. Now let me put you in reality. Our defense stinks for a combination of reasons. You can spread the blame like peanut butter. Spread it how you want to. You can give whoever the blame, the most blame, whatever you want to do, but it doesn't change the reality. The defense stinks. We can't stop a peewee football team right now. We can't stop a peewee football team. It is what it is. Put the blame where you want to. So if I know that my defense is that bad, as the offense with all those weapons, I know what I got to do. And I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to tell you like a grown man. Cry if you want to. I'm going to tell you like a grown man. then I'm going to do what I got to do. Don't tell me what I don't have. I'm a grown man. I'm not worried about what I don't have. Because what I don't have is Captain Obvious. Okay, I know what I don't have. So let me focus on what I do have. That's what a grown man does. I'm working with what I do have. I don't have time to be crying about what I don't have. Because if I'm going to cry about what I don't have, then I'm going to make that the excuse when I don't do what I'm supposed to do. You can either make excuses or be in reality. You can make excuses or be in reality. And I believe that Dak Prescott is in this reality too. And that's why he's talking the way he's talking. He understands his reality, and we got to understand our reality. Dak fan for life. He said if Flus would just run some blitzes with zone, I believe that would help this defense some, G. Flus refuses to blitz. Need 4 more players on D. Dak fan for life. I agree with you. I agree with you. He does need to blitz more. Because I think the Cowboys have I think Brian Schottenheimer on the road, I think he has a dumb mentality. Now I'm riding with Shotty until the wheels fall off in the frame. It's screeching down the field with the sparks flying off of it. I'm riding with Brian Schottenheimer. But why are you playing safe? Why are you punting the ball on 4th and 2? Why are you passing the ball at the half-yard line? Why are you punting the ball saying, we want to pin them in deep? And see, pin them in deep for what? You could have pinned the Denver Broncos in the locker room. They still would have made it to the end zone. What are you talking about, man? Understand your reality. I told y'all this yesterday, and I'm going to tell you again. If I'm the Dallas Cowboys offense coordinator from this day forward, I'm playing John Madden football. I'm going for it on 4th and anything less than 4. That's my reality. My defense can't stop a runny nose. I'm going for it. 4th and 4 and less. If I'm beyond the 50, hey, you know what? I love the kicker. Bro, I'm just telling you up front. You're not going to get no more field goals, all. I'm just telling you straight up. Because once we pass that 50, with these offensive weapons, once we pass that 50, shoot, 4th and 6 and below, I'm going for it. Crazy. Man, it's crazy to me that we're not already in this mode of operation. We ought to already be in this mode of operation. Too many of us are in la-la land. We're crying about what we don't have. It's time to work with what you do have. Your superpower is your offense. And if you stop all this fair nonsense, you can really make this offense run. Man, they need to be feeding George Pickens right now. They need to be feeding George Pickens. You're going to hear Michael Irvin talk about a couple of passes that Dak threw to CeeDee Lamb, even to Jake Ferg. Dak Prescott, we got to get this out of his head. And a part of this is Brian Schottenheimer, because Brian Schottenheimer said that when he thinks about situation, he don't think plays, he think players. Well, he needs to start thinking more George Pickens. I'm sorry, but he's unstoppable right now. I said it yesterday, and I'm going to say it again. This dude, George Pickens, he looks different. He looks different from everybody, even on the Cowboys team. George Pickens right now is in a different mode. I'm realizing something now. Pittsburgh was holding that dude back. Pittsburgh was holding that dude back. I'm telling you right now, Cowboys better pay George Pickens. I'm to the point, I'm just telling y'all right now, and this is not an overreaction. I'm telling y'all right now. George Pickens is playing at a level right now. If the Cowboys made him the highest paid wide receiver in the league, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad. George Pickens is playing next level. And I think we're holding him back. We're holding him back because we're saying we got to make sure CD get the ball. We got to make sure Ferg get the ball. Ferg got a contract. CD got a contract. We got to make sure we got to make sure everybody get, not me. Until somebody stop George Pickens, then that's when I'm going to start saying, okay, now we're going to get back to our regularly scheduled program. Because I'm telling you, the Denver Broncos had no answer for George Pickens yesterday, and I don't care what nobody says. They had no answer. Dak Prescott could have gave Patrick Surtain hell even if he hadn't got injured yesterday. Dak could have gave Patrick Surtain hell. Man, they out here calling a timid game. It don't even make sense. Don't even make sense. Jamal Ism said, thank you, G. That's my point. Appreciate that super chat. Yeah. Brian Schottenheimer waits until the game is out of hand. Then he calls an aggressive play. I don't understand it. Mills said, same old Dak according to ESPN, LaShawn McCoy. Yeah, that's another one of my points on Overreaction Monday. The vultures are already out, Mills. And that's why I'm defending Dak Prescott on this. I'm not agreeing with people saying Dak Prescott played a bad game. I don't think he did. I think Brian Schottenheimer called a bad game. And Dak has to get the blame because Brian Schottenheimer didn't call a good game. Brian Schottenheimer said he didn't call a good game. He did not call a good game. Ain't no doggone way you got number 21. Ain't no doggone way. Ain't no doggone way you got number 21 on CeeDee Lamb. You got Moss. You ain't got Randy Moss. You got Moss from the Denver Broncos. What? Shoot, CeeDee Lamb better than me. I'd have been on that doggone sideline. I'd have said something. And I think CeeDee Lamb was telling them, bro, did you see who owned me? Y'all got this dude out here thinking he can hold me. Come on. Boy, they about to make me go off on this thing. Man, if I'm George Pickens, boy, y'all better be glad this dude's in a doggone contract. Boy, we better be glad. We better be glad this dude is in the contract season. Because if I'm George Pickens yesterday, I'm saying something. Patrick Surtain is out and y'all got number 31 on me and y'all not feeding me. Man, something wrong with y'all. Shoot. Well, I'm telling you, we called a terrible game yesterday. Brian Schottenheimer talking about we did try to go with no, you didn't. You're going at him with stupid stuff, comeback routes, and what? Stop this. Man, we should have sent George Pickens deep yesterday at least 8 times. We're holding this dude back. I'm telling you, we are. We're holding this dude back. I don't care who agree. I don't care who agree. I don't care who disagree. We're holding George Pickens back. George Pickens should have 8 in that game yesterday. George Pickens is always open. That dude like 7-Eleven. Shoot, George Pickens is always open. Straight up. Dominique Pittman said, with all due respect, I can't agree. They brought in Cooper, we're 3-5, and that changed that for the season. Dominique Pittman. This ain't the same, brother. This ain't the same. Now, I'm not saying that a player, you bring him in, he won't help. But I do think if you bring in a player, it has to be at that level of Myles Garrett. I think Crosby would be one of those players. And I do think Crosby would help us. And that's the very reason why Jay Glazer and Trey Wingo are both saying the same thing. The Cowboys shot hard at Max Crosby and Trey Hendrickson. But I promise you, they wanted the world for him. Now, we may find out later on they only wanted a 1 and a 3 or 1 and a 2. But when you're talking about Max Crosby, I guarantee you the Raiders were asking for something. They were asking for something serious. I guarantee you the Raiders wasn't taking they wasn't taking a bottle of mustard for him. They probably wanted those 2 number 2s. Probably wanted those 2 number 2s and a player. Probably did. Uncle Charles, he said, let's talk. He said, I respectfully disagree. Jerry wants somebody to call him. Uncle Charles, I agree with what you're saying to a degree. But Trey Wingo and now Jay Glazer have both reported the same thing. The Cowboys actually did pick up the phone. The Cowboys picked up the phone on those two players. You don't have to believe me. I'm just telling you what they said. They said they picked them up. Justin Moore, he said, you got to get rid of Eberflus and try a different scheme. Forget the players. Justin Moore, I'm not disagreeing with you. Understand what I'm telling you. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just giving you the logic of why I don't think the Cowboys are going to do it. If the Cowboys were to let go of Matt Eberflus today, you think I'm crying about it? I'm probably cheering about it. Now, Justin Moore, let me inform you. See, everybody late to this game, Justin Moore. See, a lot of folks, they late to this game. Ron Hanna will attest, because Ron Hanna brought it up yesterday. Ron Hanna will tell all of y'all, in case y'all have forgotten. I said this before the season started. And these same people who killing this dude now, the same people who killing Matt Eberflus, calling for his job, they were the same people saying, yeah, Matt Eberflus gonna be this, Matt Eberflus gonna be that, Matt Eberflus gonna be good, Matt Eberflus is a good defensive coordinator. They were all saying it, and now they're saying firing. Now, Justin Moore, I'm not new to this. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I'm not new to this thing. I was the one who started this thing saying from the beginning, I said, Matt Eberflus gonna be, this is a problem. These bend don't break defenses, Justin Moore. I said it before people start complaining about it. I said these bend don't break defenses are a joke. Unless you got super studs all over the field. Those bend don't break defenses, they don't just bend, they shatter. They shatter. Absolutely shatter. But again, Uncle Charles, he said, we need to come to a conclusion that this season is just about over with the calls of Jerry Jones again, Jerry Howe defense coordinator. He did. Uncle Charles, this is another reason why you're answering my question. Or you're not answering my question, but you're giving a part of what I'm telling you. Jerry hired Eberflus. So in order, if Jerry fires Eberflus, he's admitting failure. I don't think he's going to admit that failure. I believe they're saying, and y'all can love this, like this, or hate this. The Cowboys may absolutely be still in evaluation mode on defense. And they want to see what Matt Eberflus looks like with Demarion Overshown, Savone Revel Jr. Mills said it 2 or 3 days ago. Mills said Savone Revel Jr. is Mills 36 said a couple of days ago that Savone Revel Jr. is actually going to fit Matt Eberflus' system. Why Mills 36? Because Mills 3679 said he's a zone corner. The more games you wait, I'm saying what I said from the beginning. The more games you wait, the more it don't make sense to fire Eberflus. It don't make sense. Because to fire him at that point, it's got to, you're basically saying it's over. Even though some of us are saying it's over now. But I don't think it's over. I don't think it's over, and I don't think the Cowboys think it's over. I don't think they think it's over. Tony Nichols said, what's sad about it, G, is that Denver went after Bridges like we should have gone after Moss. I said it yesterday, Tony Nichols. Tony Nichols, I don't know if you were on yesterday, but I said this yesterday. Shoot, Bridges needs to check the location on his phone. Because I think Sean Payton, when he I think he put location share on his phone with Triquez Bridges. Sean Payton knew everywhere Triquez Bridges was. Triquez Bridges, I said it yesterday. He went to the bathroom. Sean Payton was at the door. I bet you Sean Payton knew the seat he sat on last night. Sean Payton knows where Triquez Bridges is right now. Because everywhere Triquez Bridges was, that's where Sean Payton was with the ball. I don't understand why. How do you let Moss be on CeeDee Lamb? And they did it for a drive. But I'm sorry, Patrick Surtain went out in the second quarter. It should have been feed George Pickens time the entire game, and they didn't. Lock and D said Fluke's got a hype on the field or something. He just stand there and don't do anything. We need energy. Lock and D. Isn't it amazing that energy he had against the Commanders? He was energized against the Commanders. He reverted back to what he was. Ron Hanna said, chat, this defense suffered from mental perspective is one thing, but how can we explain the physical aspect? Ron Hanna, I said it at the beginning. Go back and look at the tape. Go back and look at the tape. The angles, the missed tackles. Man, let me tell you something. This dude's got a serious, I'm not telling you one way or the other, but I'm telling you this. Some of us don't realize, but we're making the case for Matt Eberflus. Because the people who tell me, oh, we're wrong. I keep seeing people say, they were wrong about letting go of Michael Parsons. Well, if I'm Matt Eberflus, that's my argument. That's my argument then. Y'all let go of Michael Parsons. That's my argument. Mills 36. He said Eberflus had good defenses with the Colts in 18 through 21. And a lot of people say he was good with the Chicago Bears. I mean, I guess my definition of success is a little bit different, but he ain't had no defenses this bad as far as I know. And if he hasn't had any defenses this bad, some of these same people who are calling for firing Eberflus, I'm telling you, they were the same ones advocating for Matt Eberflus. They were the same ones advocating. And now they're ready to throw him in the trash. So now my question is, what changed between the Colts, the Bears, but the Bears got rid of him too. I couldn't understand why they were saying he had success, but they were looking at the defensive numbers. But I explained this even when I talked about Matt Eberflus. It was almost a mutiny over there. But again, did the dude forget football when he came to Dallas? Texas Guns, let me tell you something. George Pickens, the way that dude playing, any team, let me tell y'all something. Texas Guns, let me tell you something. I want you to think on this nightmare. Think on this nightmare. Could you imagine George Pickens with Patrick Mahomes? I don't even want to imagine George Pickens with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. If George Pickens went to the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win at least 2 or 3 more Super Bowls. That's how good this dude is. I'm telling you, I won't be mad if the Cowboys, make George Pickens the highest paid receiver in football. I won't be mad. I'm sorry, but he's playing. That dude is that good. He's got a mentality. It's not just how he plays. It's the mentality that he plays with. Man, let me tell y'all something. The thing I love about George Pickens, he ain't afraid of nothing. George Pickens is that dude that when you get in a fight, you ain't got to worry about George Pickens. I don't care if everybody run. George Pickens is knocking folks out. George Pickens is a different type of player. You have got to. The Cowboys have got to sign George Pickens, because if they don't sign George Pickens, they're going backwards. He has got to be the single greatest trade of the season. And Michael Parsons, we'll see how that all turns out. Probably going to be a close second. But I still say George Pickens has been incredible for this team. Charlie said Dak didn't have time to throw. He did have time to throw sometimes. But I think I'm not disagreeing with you from this point, Charlie G. Dak was out there fearing for his life. Dak was out there fearing for his life, even when he had time to throw. Dak Prescott was hearing steps and seeing ghosts. Them boys was on Dak Prescott. They were whipping up on Guyton and Steele in particular. They were whipping them. Yeah, they were whipping them. But again, let me move on. Let me move on. I could go on about Matt Eberflus all day, but I'm just telling you, it's not going to hurt me if they fire him. It's not going to hurt me if they're firing, but I'm just telling us, they've played so many games. You telling me that a defense coordinator going to come in here and fix what we're looking at? They're going to fix that in 4. The reality is, if you want to be in contention, and this becomes the question, if you want to be in contention, the Cowboys probably believe, even with this bad defense, they can beat the Arizona Cardinals. With this bad defense, they probably believe they can beat the Raiders. So if they can win those 2 games, the Cowboys are very much still in this. But if you bring somebody in, let's say you fire Matt Eberflus, and you bring somebody in, or you let somebody on the staff call plays, probably White Cotton. So you're telling me they're going to turn this defense around and help you to be a contender? The Cowboys got a lot of stuff they got to work. They got a lot of angles they got to work. They do. Justin Moore, admitting failure is a start. I'm not gonna disagree with you on that part. Admitting failure is a start. But again, your definition of failure, my definition of failure, and the Joneses' definition of failure is different. Because if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, Justin Moore, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm about to talk about this. I'll get to it. I'm gonna keep your thought in my mind. I appreciate what you're talking about there. All right, let's go to overreaction number 2. Overreaction number 2. The season is over. I can see people saying the season is over. But the reality is, the season isn't over. The season is not over for the Dallas Cowboys. The season is not over for the Dallas Cowboys, and we talked about this last night. The season is not over for the Dallas Cowboys simply for this reason. And we're going to talk about this more as we talk about the NFC East race. The Cowboys are very much in this race. The Cowboys are very much in this race. The Cowboys now are, 3-4-1. Cowboys are 3-4-1. So just a quick exercise. This is not over for the Cowboys. And I can understand why the fans are saying this. Overreaction. Y'all got to understand the Denver Broncos are a doggone good team. I'm not making an excuse. I'm just telling you the truth. I know it may sound like an excuse, but the Denver Broncos are a good team. We got to stop thinking that every time we get beat, it's only because we were terrible. I got to give the Denver Broncos some credit too. Doggone Denver Broncos are a good team. Sean Payton is a good play caller. As much as I don't like how he does things, especially when it comes to Russell Wilson, he's a good play caller. So when you look at the Cowboys, we currently stand at 3-4-1. You have to understand something, that if you are the coach of the Dallas Cowboys and if you are the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, for you to look at this season and say 3-4-1 is over, it's crazy. And you can't even send a message like that to your team. The fans and content creators, they can do what the heck they want to do. But inside that building, they can't have these conversations. They can't be up in here, Justin Moore, and that's what I'm saying. Justin Moore, they can't be up in here talking about, yeah, man, the season's over. No, that glass is half full for the Cowboys, and it's half full for me. If I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I'm looking at this going, man, if we just continue on the same trajectory, we're going to be 8-1. So how do we find a way to not only win at home, but how do we find a way to win a couple of games on the road that can get us to at least 10 wins? The Cowboys can still get to 10 wins, but it has to start this weekend, because the more games they play, the less likely of a chance it is for the Cowboys to get double-digit wins. So it's got to start this week. So we lost to the Denver Broncos. Again, you already see the L up here. I'm sorry, but these games, right, this is winnable. This game is very winnable. It's at home. The Cowboys have scored a total. They're averaging 40-plus points a game at home. I believe they beat the Arizona Cardinals. That should get the Cowboys to 4-1. They got to get this easy win. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I do think they need to. I think it's an easier win. They don't have the Denver Broncos defense. The Las Vegas Raiders are a mess. We'll see what they look like by the time they play the Cowboys, but they are a hot mess. And I'm telling you this, Lock and D, I think me and you are on the same page. I'm not going to believe the Cowboys don't get Max Crosby until the Cowboys don't get Max Crosby. I believe Max Crosby is who they want. And I think the Raiders are willing to give the Cowboys Max Crosby. I do. But I think the Raiders told the Cowboys something simple. 2 number ones. I think they told them 2 number ones. The Cowboys may not think Max Crosby is worth 2 number ones. Now, some of us are saying we give 2 number ones for Max Crosby because we're so concerned about this season. And I'm not knocking you for that thought process. But I'm not sure the Cowboys think Max Crosby is 2 number ones. The Cowboys may think Max Crosby is a 1 and maybe a 3. That's what the Cowboys may be thinking about Max Crosby. And so the Cowboys may not want to do that. But I think if the Cowboys get Crosby, the Raiders are going to show the Cowboys how to do it. See, the Dallas Cowboys didn't get enough compensation for Micah Parsons. Now, for what my understanding was, that was the best offer they could get. I don't know if it's true. But I can tell you this, they didn't get enough. Miles Jack was the standard. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm coming out of this with at least 4 picks, 3 minimum, and I'm coming out with 2-3 players. I'm coming out with Van Ness. I'm probably coming out with a corner or a safety. I'm coming out of this Michael Parsons thing with a treasure trove of players. Cowboys came out of this thing with Green Bay, 2 first rounds. I'm struggling with that. I'm actually struggling. I'm not even struggling. I'm struggling with that. They didn't get enough compensation for Michael Parsons. The issue is, I bet you the Raiders going to teach the Cowboys how to do it. I bet you the Raiders want some serious compensation for Max Crosby. So we'll see by the time they play the Raiders if the Cowboys have Max Crosby. I think the Cowboys want Max Crosby, and I think that's who they're trying to get. I just think the Raiders are telling them, you're going to give up something. In Cincinnati, I think they're telling them the same thing. I think everybody that's probably talking to the Cowboys right now, or who the Cowboys have kind of tried to talk to through whatever means they've been doing it, 2 number ones. 2 number ones. Cowboys might not think Hendrickson is worth 2 number ones. So, we'll see what they look like when they play the Raiders. But if the Cowboys can get that Raiders win, that'll put the Cowboys at 5-4-1. They got to get those. I think the Cowboys beat the Eagles. We're not even talking about records when we're talking about the Eagles versus the Cowboys. It's an NFC East battle. The Eagles beat the Cowboys in Philly. The Cowboys are going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles in Dallas. Book it. You can book that win. This is why it's important. I think the Cowboys continue to win at home against the Arizona Cardinals and against the Eagles. They can't let that Eagles game, and these are the very games, caution, these are the very games the Cowboys keep letting slip. They let the Arizona Cardinals game slip. They let the Chicago Bears game slip. They keep letting games slip that could really put them in a position to take over the division. They keep letting them slip. That Raiders game, I'm circling that now as a dangerous game because I think they win the Cardinals, they win the Eagles because they're scoring 40-plus points, and I don't think neither one of those teams are going to have enough to stop the Cowboys defensively. The Cowboys call plays very aggressively at home. They're Dr. Jekyll, they're Mr. Hyde. It's the road games that are the problems. So I could easily see with the way the Cowboys have been going, Win one, lose one. Win one, Raiders would lose one on the road. They're different on the road. That's the fear. It won't even shock me if they beat the Kansas City Chiefs on Thanksgiving. I won't be shocked. I believe Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes are going to have the shootout of the year on Thanksgiving. I won't be surprised if it's 40, both of them score 40 points. I wouldn't even be surprised. I think it's going to be that kind of affair. But the Cowboys have got to win. They have got to win Cardinals, Raiders, Eagles. It's a tall glass. It's a tall glass. And then in between there, you got the Chiefs and the Lions. So let's just say those are 2 losses. If we would have put those in the loss column, that would give the Cowboys 6 losses, 1 tie. That would put the Cowboys in the situation to where they must beat the Vikings, the Commanders. They would have to beat the they would have to beat the Vikings, the Commanders, and the Giants. The question is, can they get this one at home? The Chargers are going to be a tough game for the Cowboys at home. Can they get that one? They get that one, that puts the Cowboys at 10-6-1. It's very doable. And this is why if you're on this Dallas Cowboys team, the coaching staff, the ownership, you got to look at this like this. You can't say it's over. You have to look at this like this. And we'll see if 10-6-1, that tie may be the very thing that helps the Cowboys get in the playoffs. You can't say it's over. And to let go of Matt Eberflus, I'm sorry. You're saying it's over. Especially if you let him coach this week. You just keep putting yourself further behind the 8-ball. I think if the Cowboys are going to fire Eberflus, it should have been earlier. But they were not really justified in even firing him. This is a tough situation, but I don't think the Cowboys are going to do it. I don't. Miss Matrix, what's going on? She said, gee, it's not fair. Reality is defense needs to give offense 1 or 2 games. I'm ticked at offense too, but they aren't going to be perfect for 17 weeks. That's the reality. Miss Matrix. Well, if they're not going to be perfect the whole season, the season is over. I'm just giving us the reality. The season is over. Now, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, what the Cowboys do. Tell it like it is. He said fans just so scared of Pickens being better than Lamb. I got muted on here last night for saying just that. Tell it like it is. Let me tell you something. Tell it like it is. Let me tell you what we can all agree, or we should be all agreeing. I don't think this is about tell it like it is. Let's tell it like it is. I don't think this is about George Pickens being better than CeeDee Lamb. I'm telling anybody who loves it, likes it, or hates it. This dude, George Pickens, right now is playing on a different level. CeeDee Lamb is coming off of an injury. George Pickens, ever since that injury of CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens shifted into another mode. That dude is unstoppable right now. He's unstoppable. I'm sorry, he's unstoppable. Dak Prescott is still in that mindset of, I got to get it to CD. Not me, I wouldn't be. Not me. I wouldn't get out of. I'm feeding George Pickens until defenses start putting some respect on that man's name. Until defenses tell me I can't do it no more, I'm going to him. I'm telling you. And I would tell CD, hey, bro, you know me and you boys, but this dude, George Pickens, got the hot hand right now. Hey, we going to feed him until we can't feed him. And then that's going to give you, hey, CD, be patient, because this going to set you up for the kill. The Cowboys try to create too much balance between Lamb and Pickens. I don't think they need to be creating balance. I think what they need to do is what is the defense showing me? Whoever the defense gives me, that's what I'm taking. And if I see that they're going to be stupid and they're going to put number 31 on George Pickens when Surtain goes out, hey, CD, be patient. We got a mismatch out of this world. We got a mismatch out of this world, and I'm eating it up. We're eating it up. That's what we should have did. But again, let's get to the next overreaction. Sean Barber. Believe me, G, it's going to come out. These players can't hold much longer. Sean Barber, let me tell you something. I'm gonna agree with you on this point. They are in the danger zone. They are in the danger zone. The more this defense gives up, Brian Schottenheimer, I'm going to give him all credit in the world. He's holding it together. But they're in the danger zone. They're in the danger zone. Because somebody's eventually going to start saying it's because of the defense. And I know they're trying not to say it, but it's hard not to. Whew! It's hard not to. But again, I'm telling you this. We don't have to make the George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb discussion about which one of them is better. I'm just telling us George Pickens. George Pickens is unstoppable right now. He's unstoppable. George Pickens is open when he's not open. He's unstoppable. George Pickens is 6'3" monster. He can high point. He can run the routes. He can go. Now we know he can in the slot, short, intermediate, deep. George Pickens is in his bag right now. George Pickens in his bag right now. George Pickens in his bag. And the Cowboys have got to get out of this mode of balance between him and CeeDee Lamb. Nah, bro. We're not doing no balance. Not right now. CD is coming off of injury. He came back early. That don't mean we're not going to throw to him. But just right now, yesterday, Pickens should have been the primary receiver. And when I look at the stats, it's eerily strange to me that him and CeeDee Lamb, same amount of catches, around the same amount of yards, if I'm not mistaken, that cannot be the focus of this team. I can't be looking at this going, I don't want to make one of them mad. Because Dak said this wasn't going to be a problem. Dak said in some games, one going to get more than the other. If one is hot, then it's going to be what it is. Well, we haven't seen that yet. We have not seen that yet. We should have saw that yesterday. Nothing about them being who better than this or that. No, right now, the dude is unstoppable. All right. So again, Overreaction Monday. The Cowboys are done. The Cowboys are not done. The Cowboys are absolutely not done. The Cowboys are in a situation that if they can put together some wins, it is feasible, and it is very feasible that the Cowboys can actually get 10-6-1. It's feasible. And until it's no longer feasible, it's feasible. And so, again, all I'm trying to do is put us in reality. I understand some of the stuff that we're saying, but I'm just trying to put us in reality. Overreaction Monday, season is over, not over. Eberflus fired. I'm not going to cry if they fire him. But I'm the reason why I'm not trying to get myself built up, because I think sometimes we make ourselves angry. One of the things the Bible teaches us is to be anxious for nothing. So the one thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to be anxious for the Cowboys to fire Matt Eberflus. And then every time they don't fire Matt Eberflus, and every time they have a bad performance defensively, then I'm going to get my blood pressure built up and start going all crazy. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to keep living in reality. The defense is bad. Matt Eberflus is he seems to be very hard-headed. He seems to be very stubborn. He's going to run what he wants. He's going to run what he's going to run what he's going to run. And he's either saying, I'm not going to adjust, or he's saying that if I adjust, it's going to be bad. Matt, it's already bad. But again, I don't think the Cowboys are going to do it. But if they do, they do. And I'm going to continue to rock and roll with the Cowboys. Next, Overreaction Monday. We would be better with Michael Parsons.
Yes! Here we go!
Total overreaction. Michael Parsons would be furious right now if he was playing on this defense. You know, it's funny to me, people acting like, yeah, man, Michael Parsons would be here, boy. We'd be top 20. No, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't be top 20. Could we be better? Would we be better? Yes and yes. How much better? I'm not sure much better. Because these players around, this isn't just a scheme issue. It's a player issue too. I don't think we would be better. And we keep looking at Michael Parsons with the Green Bay Packers going, that could be us. No, it couldn't. We don't have the defense the Green Bay Packers have, and we're not running the scheme they're running. The Green Bay Packers they have such good players on the defensive line, linebackers, defensive backs. They are using Michael Parsons as a chess piece. They are moving him all over the field because they can. And he doesn't have to be on the field all the time, and they can still get stops. They can still get sacks. They can still get turnovers. They can still be successful with Michael Parsons not on the field. Michael Parsons on the Green Bay Packers is the equivalent in some respects of us putting George Pickens on the Cowboys offense. Dak was already good. CeeDee Lamb was already good. Ferg was already good. Turpin was already good. Javonte Williams was already good. The Green Bay Packers were already good. Michael Parsons is elevating them to help them be great. And we still got to see what that final record is to kind of see really what the impact is. But again, stop the fool's gold. It's not true. Yes, would we be better? Problem is, how much better? I don't think it would be as better as people think. I don't think it's 2 games better. I don't think it's games better. I think we would look better, but I still think it would be the same thing. Next thing. One trade fixes the defense. Overreaction. It's not true. One player is not going to fix this defense. Jerry just said the quiet part out loud, the part that nobody wants to hear. One player doesn't fix this defense. Now, Demarion Overshown coming back, Josh Butler coming back, Savon Revel Jr., that's going to help. And maybe if you were to get a Max Crosby, that helps too. And that might help a whole lot. But the other part of this is, and there has to be another part. Matt Eberflus would still have to be able, the Cowboys would still have to make Eberflus make some adjustments. He would still have to make some adjustments because he just couldn't continue with his scheme. He couldn't just continue with his scheme, even if you brought in Crosby, even if you brought in another linebacker, even if you brought in another defensive back. I mean, all of these things, we got a combination of things. A lot of things got to change. Flus, system, and even the physicality of the defense as a whole. It all has to change. I'm not opposed to it, but one trade isn't going to do it, and I think Jerry knows. Reality Cowboy, he said, you did, G. He said, I watched the cast. He said, you were right, bro. You said you hate Ben, don't break approach. Jerry Jones needs to fire himself, then flus. I said it, man. I'm telling us, Reality Cowboy, people don't understand, man. That whole Ben don't break thing, it's typically it's good because of the players that's in that system. But we don't have the players that fit a system like that. They don't fit a system like that. We don't have those players. But again, one trade fixes the defense? No. So the Cowboys, they may need, if they do a trade and they do a trade, they need to make sure they hit a home run on it. They need to make sure they hit a home run on it. I think Max Crosby, for me, Max Crosby he's the home run. And I'm telling you, I don't think the Cowboys have given up on Max Crosby. I think right now they know what they need. I think they know what it's going to require to get Max Crosby. Now they're just sitting around saying, "Oh, we gonna pull the trigger." Tony Nichols said Peyton was in the bathroom, handed him a wash towel in the mint. Yes, sir. I said it yesterday. Shoot, I bet Sean Payton is still calling him on the phone. Traquays Bridges is wondering how Sean Payton got his phone number. I'm telling you, boy, he did his intel. Boy, when he saw Traquays Bridges, shoot, if he had a game plan, he balled it up and threw it in the trash. Threw it in the trash. I'm telling you. All right, let's see. Let's get a little bit more in. Next one. This is Jerry's fault. I'm struggling with this on Overreaction Monday. I'm struggling with this because we're killing Jerry, but we're not giving Jerry credit. I mean, he brought in George Pickens. Everybody was crying for a second wide receiver. What did Jerry do? Now, some people, oh, yeah, this is Jerry. Jerry don't never do what's right. Well, Jerry did something right. Jerry brought in George Pickens. And I'm sticking with what I said before. I think George Pickens is going to go down as the greatest trade of 2025. The Pittsburgh Steelers had to be absolutely crazy. This dude, George Pickens, is not only making the Pittsburgh Steelers look crazy, this dude, George Pickens, is making the league look crazy for saying they didn't want this dude in their locker room. The Cowboys ought to be thanking God every night that teams didn't want to go for George Pickens and allowed the Cowboys to get George Pickens. I am telling you, George Pickens has exceeded. I don't know what anybody expected about George Pickens. I'm just going to tell you me. This dude exceeded all of my expectations. I never thought he was going to be this good. I knew he was going to be good. I didn't think he was going to be alien status. George Pickens is alien status right now. He alien status. The dude is open when he's not open. He alien status. If I were the Cowboys, I'm just being honest with you right now. I'd pay George. I would make George Pickens right now. I'd make him the highest paid wide receiver. Sip the Truth said he's good, not better than Jefferson or Chase or Lamb, but he's good though. Man, Sip the Truth. I'm gonna respect your opinion. I'm struggling, and I'm telling you like I used to say in the hood with the SCR or the SKR. Nah, I'm struggling. I was saying before George Pickens is a top 10 receiver. Nah, man. George Pickens has officially entered into the top 5 conversation. He's in the top 5 conversation. And I think he is in the top 4 conversation of the 3 we just mentioned. He's in that conversation. But to me, when you get to the level of what we're talking about between Jefferson, Chase, Lamb, and now even Pickens, bro, I think we're splitting hairs. You can't lose with neither one of them. We're at the point you can't lose with either one of them. They are all that good. And I'm telling you right now, shoot, this dude GP from the Cowboys, man, I wouldn't even play. I'm just going to go and bite the bullet on GP. Highest paid wide receiver in the league. If I were the Cowboys, that's the offer I would make right now. Highest paid wide receiver in the league. Done with it. Done with it. I'd hit the button on Dak's contract, Lamb's contract, Bland's contract, Ty Smith's contract, kick that money into the void years. Done. I'm not even discussing it. Man, let me tell you something. There are just some things I believe you don't even discuss. There are just some things you don't discuss. There are just certain things that you want. Certain things that you just need. You don't even discuss it. You already know the price is you already know the price is expensive. And man, I'm not even thinking about it no more. I'm just doing it. Study long, study wrong is what we say in Dominoes. I'm not studying long on George Pickens. I'm not even having a debate if he's 1, 2, 3, or 4. I know he's in that number. And if I got a wide receiver, 2 wide receivers who are in the top 4, 2 wide receivers in the top 4, I'm not even arguing no more. I don't have to argue that he's better than CeeDee Lamb. I'm not making that argument. The argument that I'll make, if anything, is that it's a conversation. That's good enough for me. I'm signing George Pickens. I'll make him the highest paid wide receiver in the league. And I'll tell you this, I'll make him the highest paid wide receiver in the league, and I'll come back next week, and then I'll make CeeDee Lamb the highest paid wide receiver in the league. But I'm not letting, if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I'm not letting George Pickens get away from this franchise. I'm not even letting it get to a conversation of even this dude. No. I'm not playing around, because the franchise tag, you're going to kill yourself with that. Now, you'll get that for probably around $28 million-ish, but nah, you're not going to get the best George Pickens with that doggone franchise tag stuff. I got to get him now. But again, this is Jerry Jones' fault. He brought in George Pickens, brought in Javonte Williams. Doggone it, he brought in the coaching staff that everybody likes. How are we going to hate this man for bringing in the doggone? I mean, how are we going to hate on the man for bringing in the coach that everybody absolutely loves? Struggling. I mean, what do we want? We want it both ways. We want to hate the man for the defense, and it is a travesty. I'm not going to disagree with you, but he brought in these coaches. You can kill him for Matt Eberflus. What you gonna do about what you gonna do about Brian Schottenheimer? So you gonna kill him? You gonna kill him for Matt Eberflus? But then what you gonna say about Brian Schottenheimer? What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say about Clayton Adams, Connor Riley, all the coaches he brought in on offense? So you're gonna tell me that he's terrible for hiring Eberflus, but then you're not gonna tell me that he was great for hiring Brian Schottenheimer, the same one that I'm saying I'm rolling with. Some of y'all saying y'all rolling with. Some of the people who hate Matt Eberflus, they're advocating for Brian Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer didn't get here on his own. You better believe Brian Schottenheimer is a Jerry Jones pick. I think it's a Stephen Jones thing too, but I also think it's Jerry Jones. Shoot, you better believe it. I'm telling us. Teo Richie. Hold on a second. It's not you that said it. Hold on. Yeah, we've already had this conversation too. Yeah, Teo Richie, I got the wrong one. Teo, I agree with you. Someone super chat this message. We already talked about it. We don't need to beat the defense to be perfect. We just need to be average at best. I agree. We've already had that conversation days ago. We've already had that conversation. All right, let's get to our last two. Overreaction Monday. We need Diggs. Now let me cover this subject matter without slander, or what someone may even perceive as slander. But some people they're gonna perceive it as slander no matter what you do. The Cowboys don't need Diggs. And I don't mean that in a bad way. The Cowboys have done with Diggs, and Diggs has also done with the Cowboys. The same thing that Jerry did with Michael and Michael did with Jerry. They have let things get personal. They have let things get personal to a point to where it is just not going to work. And I know there are people, there are locker rooms. There are locker rooms that you can have these controversies and things still flow in a certain type of direction. But let me tell you why those things work. Let me give you the Philadelphia Eagles for an example. You can have controversy on teams when you're winning. When you're winning. Antonio Brown, controversial on teams he's been on. They put up with it when they're winning. Because typically when you let's say you got this controversy on your team. But see, when your team is good, it is true. Winning cures all. Winning cures all. If the Philadelphia Eagles were losing, A.J. Brown would be the biggest problem in the world. Yeah, A.J. Brown would be a problem. You know how I know? Because the Titans kicked his butt out of there. Why would the Titans be willing to let go of A.J. Brown? He wasn't talented with the Titans? Is that what we're telling me? He wasn't talented with the Titans? When you're winning, and I mean you're winning big, oh, you can tolerate nonsense. Philadelphia Eagles tolerated T.O. till they were not winning no more. They tolerated T.O. And I still say the Philadelphia Eagles messed themselves out of a field goal way back with Donovan McNabb. T.O. played with a broken leg against the New England Patriots. And if Donovan McNabb would have just fed the ball to him, I think they win that Super Bowl. Terrell Owens, at a certain point in his career, was unstoppable too. Was absolutely unstoppable. You can tolerate a lot of things when you're winning. But when you're not winning, it's harder to tolerate. All the noise becomes louder when you're not winning. If the Cowboys were winning, Trayvon Diggs stuff wouldn't be as big of a deal. The reason why it's loud, they're not winning. I think Trayvon Diggs needs a new start. Straight up, I think he needs a new start. Trayvon Diggs needs a change of scenery. He needs to go somewhere. And man, people just don't get how important this is. Man, go somewhere where you want it. Trayvon Diggs needs to go somewhere where somebody wants him there. Go somewhere where they're going to play a scheme that fits what you do best. Go to that team, man. Ain't no point in forcing it with the Cowboys no more. I said it before the season. Again, people don't understand. People are making arguments that I made before the season started. I just look at some of this stuff and I just shake my head because I'm like, y'all late to the party. I said the Cowboys and Trayvon Diggs were at war when the season started. And exactly what I said, we're watching it play out. I don't even know. I'm telling you, I'm at the point right now, shoot. Man, I don't even know what's going on with Trayvon Diggs. I can't even call heads or tails on this situation with Trayvon Diggs. Man, that's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I mean, we went from a concussion to we get new news last night. I'm going to talk about it later on the video. We got new news today. I mean, last night from Jerry Jones and Brian Schottenheimer. He's been battling the knee all season. What? He battling the knee? When did this happen? Oh. Now it comes to revelation right around the time of the concussion. It is time for Trayvon Diggs to go. It's not good for Trayvon Diggs. It's not good for the Cowboys. And they can't handle this because they're not winning. They can't handle this because a part of the problem is Matt Eberflus. A part of the problem is the Joneses and how they went at Trayvon Diggs and how Trayvon Diggs want to prove them wrong. There are so many things that it's at the point, man, let the dude go. Figure out a way to get something for Trayvon Diggs or just don't let him back on. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm not letting Trayvon Diggs back on the field if he's got some kind of clause in his contract that says that if he gets hurt, he gets a guaranteed season next year. Cowboys would be crazy if he's got that in his contract. Don't let him back on the field. You got to, now again, I'm saying this not as about Trayvon Diggs. I'm saying this because I'm a Cowboys fan. I don't want to pay Trayvon Diggs as a Cowboys fan. I wouldn't want them to pay him another full season knowing that they already don't want him this season, and then he would be back another season, and then it would just be more of the same crazy stuff going on. Because they probably let him walk and then be paying him. No, we don't want that. It's time for Trayvon Diggs. Find somewhere new to go. Go somewhere where you want it. Go somewhere and ball out. And this is why I said before the season started, I don't think Trayvon Diggs should have ever hit the field for the Cowboys until he was 100%. All right. Last Overreaction Monday. Same old Dak. This one right here is bothering me bad. This one is bothering me bad because Dak Prescott is getting blamed, at least from what I've seen watching the game. Dak Prescott is getting blamed for Brian Schottenheimer calling a bad game. Brian Schottenheimer admitted it. He called a bad game. He absolutely called a bad game. There is no getting around it to me. He called a bad game. And Dak Prescott's got to be the one who takes all the criticism because he called a bad game. Dak Prescott wasn't telling them to run. And I believe they ran a game plan that said that they knew they was going to get this pass rush. They didn't want to put Dak in harm's way. So they wanted all the short stuff. They wanted the dink and dunk, the short stuff, get the ball out of Dak Prescott's hand fast. And I think the other part of the bad game plan, as much as I've advocated for Jaden Blue, I thought Jaden Blue looked pretty good. But for the most part, I thought it was the wrong game to ramp him up the way they did. No, I'm sorry. The Denver Bronco game, I'm calling Javonte Williams and this offense into the office, and I'm telling them this is the Javonte Williams game. He balling today. That's what I'm telling my offense. This is the Javonte Williams game. He's getting 100+ yards today. And we're going to guarantee that he does it. And we're going to tear these boys up. Because what shattered the whole game was the Cowboys have been working off of Javonte early, establish the run, get the play action, and then you can hit those wide receivers. It was like they went out of their way to prove this isn't a revenge game. No, I want everybody to know. I'm like Rico Dowdle in the Carolina Panthers. Buckle up. No, I want you to know. We're going to run Javonte Williams at you every which way but loose. I don't care if they're stopping him for 1, -2. I'm running Javonte Williams, and we're going to break something. And then once we batter you with Javonte Williams, then we're going to start hitting you with some play action. Then we're going to start hitting you with some Jaden Blue. Then we're going to start hitting you down the field with CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson and George Pickens. And yeah, that's when we're going to start doing that to you. But the Cowboys, it's like they went away from what has made them successful. And you got to establish the run with Javonte Williams. I don't want Jaden Blue splitting carries with Javonte. I want him in addition to Javonte. In addition to. Let him be a change-up here and there. Pick and choose where he's the change-up. But you first let every team know we're establishing who we are with Javonte Williams because that's our physicality. Because if Javonte Williams and that offensive line isn't physical, then the offense isn't physical. And we were not physical against the Denver Broncos. Bottom line. So, wasn't the same old Dak. Problem is, Brian Schottenheimer called a bad game. End of story for me. He called a bad game. And those are my 7 overreactions for today. All right. Let's read these super chats. And then we're going to move over to Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin, of everybody who I've heard break down this Cowboys game, Michael Irvin has broken down the realest. And I'm telling you, we are going to sit back and listen to Michael Irvin break down this Cowboys loss. Because you're going to find out that Michael Irvin made some of the same points I made last night on the live stream. Let's read these super chats. Star Guardian X, every time Pickens is one-on-one, it should go to him. He's a different receiver, man. George Pickens eats up boundaries on you. George Pickens eats up boundaries. George Pickens can eat you up deep. Now they got him in his bag. He can get you on the short and the intermediate. And CeeDee Lamb is just CeeDee Lamb. He's an absolute monster. We don't have to take nothing. See, and this is what we got to learn to stop doing. We don't have to denigrate CeeDee Lamb to say George Pickens is elite. We don't have to denigrate CeeDee Lamb. We don't have to denigrate George Pickens to say CeeDee Lamb is elite. And in the grand scheme of things, I don't even need to hear the argument. I don't have to hear the argument that CeeDee Lamb or George Pickens is better than one another. I don't even need to hear that argument. Because they're both elite wide receivers. And they're the best wide receiver tandem in the league. And Jerry's got to keep it. Jerry's got to keep it. Jerry's got to keep it. And we got to get to the point of we got to stop trying to be balanced with these two wide receivers. Let the defense tell us what we're doing. Let the defense tell us. If they're going to be dumb enough to roll out there with Moss on CeeDee Lamb, well, let's eat them up with CeeDee Lamb. If they're going to be dumb enough to put 31 on George Pickens, when Surtain goes out, it's George Pickens all day, every day. And when they roll coverage over there, then I'm going back to CeeDee Lamb. I'm going to make them change up that defense. Now, the Denver Broncos, again, they got a very good pass rush. But the way you nullify that pass rush, and I was a little bit surprised the Cowboys didn't do some of these things, the way you nullify those pass rushes, one, you got to run the ball. You got to tell them I'm going to run the ball even if you stop me from running the ball. Because I want you to always think I'm going to run the ball even if I'm not running the ball. I got to keep running it. And then when you think I'm running the ball, then I'm going to hit you with play action. And if I put Jaden Blue in the game, I want Jaden Blue let's put him in motion out of the backfield. Let's put a little wrinkle in this thing. Put him in motion out of the backfield. Line him up in the slot. Now have somebody else to come in motion. Let another wide receiver go over to the other side. I'm gonna mix it up on you. Jaden Blue in the screen game. Get him where he's comfortable. Get him on the edges. This dude ain't comfortable yet running between the tackles. If you're not going to establish Javonte Williams, you're going to lose a lot of leverage against teams. America First, he said, hey, G, notice how the Dak hater starts after he didn't have a great game. I'm telling you, this is just beyond football of how much hate Dak gets. Oh, they were waiting. America First, they were waiting. They couldn't wait for a bad game. And the thing that ticks me off is he's got to get the blame for a bad game plan. Just makes me mad. Junior, what up? Junior said, what up, G? He said, firing Eberflus is insane. He said, you can't just fire coordinators when things don't go right. Let me finish reading that. Go right in year one. You need continuity. We don't have the talent. Junior, this is the argument I made. Matt Eberflus could easily push back on the Cowboys and tell them, man, the talent. And a lot of us don't realize we're making Matt Eberflus's argument. Well, if you tell me this defense will be better with Michael Parsons, then if I'm Matt Eberflus, I'm going to make the argument. I'm going to make the simple argument of the reason why the defense ain't good is because I don't have Michael Parsons. Simple for me. Simple for me. I'll push back on you easy. I'm going to use your own argument against you. Sure am. I'll use your own argument against you. Star Garden next said, I'm not really upset though, G. I wasn't expecting too much from the Cowboys this year. All new coaching staff takes time to get players you need to make your scheme work, especially on defense. Star Garden next, I'm about to say something's going to make people mad. I've already said it on X. If Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones said the problem is three defensive coordinators in 3 years, and you got players left over from all 3 eras of those defensive coordinators, then why not just keep Matt Eberflus and say, we're going to get you the players that you want to run your scheme? I know that's going to make people mad. But I don't know what else to tell us. Because if you get a new defense coordinator, you're going to be facing the same thing. The implementation of a brand new scheme. And a lot of people who were poo-pooing, man, I even saw people on X saying, they see what Matt Eberflus is trying to do. They said it. Oh, I see what he's trying to do. And if he gets that thing, and they said, once he gets that scheme in place, it's going to be great. Okay, well, maybe he's making the same argument. Maybe the Cowboys see the same thing. And they're going to give him another year. Dominique Pittman. He said making Pickens the highest paid after half a season ain't the way to go. 30 to 33 million. Appreciate that super chat. Problem is, Dominique Pittman, somebody's going to be willing to pay George Pickens more than that. Yeah, they'll be willing to pay him more than that. Now, the Cowboys will probably go for that franchise tag, if that is the case. I'm not sure if that's the way you want to do business with George Pickens. If I'm the Cowboys, find a way to make a commitment to George Pickens. Go ahead and get the long-term deal. Don't try to get the doggone franchise tag. Don't try to do it. David Mulugeta, man, let me tell y'all something. If the Cowboys haven't learned anything from David Mulugeta, they better learn this. Boy, you go low, he'll go to hell. Shoot, David Mulugeta, boy, he showed us something with Michael Parsons. You go low, he'll go to hell. Shoot, they were willing, they was going to play this thing out with Jerry Jones. David Mulugeta and Michael Parsons were basically determined that Michael Parsons was not going to hit the field for the Cowboys without a deal. And Jerry knew it. Jerry absolutely knew it. Nah, you ain't going to play with David Mulugeta. You're either going to pay this man or you're not. If I'm the Cowboys, as they say, hey man, use the bathroom or get off the pot. Use the bathroom or get off the pot. Don't play with George Pickens. David Mulugeta not gonna let you do it. Deanna, what's up? She said Jerry wants the team to look a certain way because of nostalgia, still fame over game. Well, I can tell you this, Deanna. I do think he's trying to get it back to the 90s Cowboys. I'm not mad at him about that. He's trying to get it back to the 90s Cowboys. But I can tell you this part, because I'm going to give Jerry credit. Jerry's done a great job this year offensively. I think where they overplayed their hands, is that they thought Sam Williams and Dante Fowler were going to be better than they are. For me, that's the place where they overplayed their hands. Sam Williams and Dante Fowler has been an absolute disappointment, Deanna, y'all. Absolute disappointment. A lot of people, I'm telling you, I just listen to people, and I'm not going to say any names or anything like that. All I'm telling you is this. A lot of these people who are bashing and beating Matt Eberflus to death, they now all of a sudden, whatever's new, they own it. I was already on this thing about Matt Eberflus. I was already on this thing. I said that I don't know if he has the players. I don't know if he has the players for the scheme that he's trying to run. I was already on that thing. And some of these players that haven't turned out, Deanna, y'all, some people are going to have to start admitting they were wrong. Some people thought these players were going to be great. And some of the players they thought were going to be great are not great. And it's not all scheme. Some of these players are not great. Some people thought Kenneth Murray Jr. was going to be good to great. Nope, not. Elam was the best player in training camp. Nope, not. Sanborn, they were screaming and hollering when the Bears let him go without putting a tender on him. Matt Eberflus is supposed to be the linebacker whisperer. Everybody was saying, because I'm going to tell you, Deanna, y'all, I'm going to tell you, Deanna or Diana, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was one of the ones who said the most improved part of this team was the linebacking crew. I was wrong. I was wrong. And a lot of us were wrong on this. Jerry did go out there. They did go out there and try to put some players on defense. It just didn't turn out. And they're going to just, and I think the Cowboys are going to try to hold on to this as long as they can. They're going to try to hold on to this as long as they can. But they're going to finally, we'll see how they're going to, we're going to see how they're going to play this as it continues. We'll see how they play it. Yeah, we'll see how they play it. But the Matt Eberflus thing, I think they're going to continue to. I think they're going to continue to roll with Matt Eberflus. This is why I'm not going to. This is why I'm not going to get myself built up on getting. I'm not going to even get anybody gassed up about why we should. I could give you all the reasons why we should fire Matt Eberflus, but it don't matter if I give you the reasons necessarily because I just don't think they're going to do it. C Bass. He said, you don't subtract from a championship level offense to supplement your defense. You add to your team so that you have the best chance to compete. Yeah. They got to keep George Pickens. Dominique, I understand what you're saying. He said, he said, y'all crazy as heck. Oh, okay, no. Hold on a second. Dominique Pittman, you're on another end. You said, y'all crazy as heck talking about trading Pickens. Man, do you know I saw Calvin Watkins talking about this? Calvin Watkins said the Cowboys should trade Pickens. I think he said something to that effect. Also, G, talking about paying Pickens more than Lamb. Nah, G. Now, Dominique, now you didn't catch the method to my madness. I would pay George Pickens more than CeeDee Lamb to get him to stay. But I'd also come back and give CeeDee Lamb a raise. Yeah. I would come back and give CeeDee Lamb a raise. That's what I would do. But I gotta keep George Pickens, man. I gotta, if I'm the Cowboys, that's priority number one. I've got to keep George Pickens. All right, so let's get on over here to Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin is about to drop megaton bombs. And Michael Irvin you're going to hear him talk similar to how I talked last night. Some people don't like it, but I'm just telling you, this is the reality of the Cowboys. Let's check out Michael Irvin.
Yes! Here we go!
Because I left Miami 5 o'clock this morning. Forget about the party, forget about everybody. I got to get back for church so I can pray. So the Cowboys can have a win this day. When we were coming back, they had shut down the airport for weather. They diverted me to Oklahoma, so I didn't get back here till about noon. And I didn't go to church. I knew right then when I was driving home from the airport, I said, shit, this is about to be a bad day.
Michael Irvin said my day started. Michael Irvin said about not going to church today, it started wrong. I knew it was going to be a bad. Yes, sir, boy. I understand the feeling. I understand the feeling. Michael Irvin said he had a bad feeling, boy.
Because I didn't go see the Lord.
Tell him, Mike.
And I was right. I don't understand why I just can't have one good damn weekend
Boy,
where Miami wins, Colorado wins, because, you know, it's my boy Dion, and then the Cowboys win. I just want one damn weekend like that. Just one weekend. All of it circulates around football. My whole life does. So when
Hold on a second. I like this with who is this? Louis Ballos. He said we need to give up a first and a second for Myles Garrett, then give up a second and a first for Max Crosby. Wait a minute, you want both of them? You want both of them? I thought you was talking about one of them. You want both of them. I see you. Then trade Diggs and a fifth to get Minkah Fitzpatrick. Our first on the linebacker. Figure out the cap if the Eagles can do it. Boy, hey, let me tell you something, Guzman. That trade right there, that trade would turn the whole season around right there, probably. I mean, you still have to deal with the scheme, but maybe the scheme would look better if you got it rolling like that, man. Let's read a super chat real quick. Dak fan for life. He said G. Pickens will be an unrestricted free agent this season. I thought the Cowboys could franchise him, though. The Cowboys will have to negotiate a new contract. George doesn't have to take the franchise tag, okay? Dak fan for life. If I'm the Cowboys, I think it would be cheaper to make him the highest paid wide receiver now. And Dominique Pittman, let me tell you why this makes sense. I would make George Pickens the highest paid wide receiver now, so I could make sure that in the future somebody don't get signed before I sign George Pickens, and then the price only goes up. Because Cowboys can't pay George Pickens in that number 2 money. They got to pay him in the number 1 money. And the way he's performing in the top 5. The Cowboys are going to have to give him that top 5 money. That's why from the Cowboys, I'm paying him now.
football's up, I'm up. When football's down, I'm down. And then sometimes it leaves me hanging around middle ground. Miami won. Dallas lost, and it was a bad loss. Dion got destroyed. Bad all the way around. Let's talk about that Cowboy game. 44-24. Let me tell you what I saw, man. We talked all about this, and I talked about it prior to going into this game when I said on the road they were averaging about 21 points a game. They put up 24. At home, they're averaging 40-some points a game. That's the kind of score they need to score everywhere. That's what I...
Y'all gonna call me Nostradamus. Y'all are going to call me Nostradamus. Did I not say the same thing last night? I put it on X today and people don't like what I'm saying. I'm not going to be crying about what we need to do because that's not our reality. What we need to do is our reality, but what we need to do is not our reality because we haven't done it yet. I got to be where my feet are. I have to be where my feet are. I have to be present where my feet are. And this is where my feet are. The defense stinks for a combination of reasons. And the only way we're going to get to where we want to get to this season is we must put up 40 points. We must continue to put up 40 points a game at home. And we must put up at least 35 points a game on the road. Michael Irvin is saying they got to put up 40 at home and 40 on the road. I told y'all this last night. I told y'all this. Man, this ain't rocket science. Man, you got to be in your reality. I'm not going to hype y'all up and gas y'all up on what we're not. I know what we're not, Captain Obvious. Let me tell you what we are. Let me tell you what we are. We are a high-scoring football team. We got the best offense in the league with the worst defense. That's my reality. So I got to win with my strength until my weakness is no longer my reality.
I told you guys, they have to learn to get to do that on the road. We had given the excuse of not doing it on the road because you did not have CeeDee Lamb. But you have him now, and you still didn't get it done. Let me tell you what I see that I don't think this team is going to do enough of to overcome that little league defense they have playing in the National Football League right now. And I just don't know if, I'm not saying we don't have enough offensive talent on the team to overcome that poor defense, because you got enough talent to put up 40 points a game. You really do. But the problem is, it's these little things. You playing against a guy like Sean Payton, who's going to focus on the little things. You know, you are hurt in the secondary. So what is he going to do? He's going to attack where you are weak most. We don't focus on those little things. You know, we early on in that drive, the game, Dallas makes the first drive, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe this is going to be okay. Maybe okay. Maybe God's saying you tried to get back. It wasn't your fault. I'm going to honor the effort and make sure the Cowboys play back great. So the first drive, I thought that's what it was. And then right towards the end of that first drive, there was a couple things that happened. Pat Surtain, they tried to throw a ball to George Pickens in the end zone. Pat Surtain kind of knocked it away, but he came down. He was hurt. He got hurt. They had to take him off the field. Then we come back out. CeeDee lines up on the right. George Pickens lines up on the left. They run a little pick, try to run a little pick and get CeeDee the ball in the end zone to the right, as opposed to throwing it backside, one-on-one to George Pickens.
Y'all see what I'm talking about? You're going to call me Nostradamus. You're going to call me a prophet. Michael Irvin is saying a lot of the same things that I said. He's going to, and I haven't heard the whole thing, but he's saying some of the same things I said. They are going into some of these plays predetermining where they're going with the ball, rather than going where the defense is dictating they should be going with the ball. Yesterday, the moment Surtain went down, George Pickens' number should have been called until the Denver Broncos made an adjustment and bracketed him underneath and over the top or double teamed him. And then you got CeeDee Lamb on Moss, and then they should have ate him up with Moss. They didn't do that. They didn't do that. They stuck to some crazy game plan. I don't know what they were doing, but they didn't do what Sean Payton did. Sean Payton found Troquez Bridges every time he wanted to pass the ball almost.
Who was on the cornerback that had come in for Pat Surtain.
Say it, Mike.
Pat Surtain was playing George Pickens all over here. Right him off, and the safety would help double team CeeDee Lamb. I told you they would use that technique. And Dak gets the ball, and he tries to throw it in to CeeDee Lamb instead of taking the backside one-on-one.
Why? Why is he doing this? Now, Dak talked about this in the press conference last night. Dak has in his mind sometimes. It's obvious. I got to go to CeeDee Lamb. Or the play. CeeDee Lamb's the primary receiver. The moment Surtain went out of that game, my game plan changes. And it seemed like this team makes adjustments very slow. Now, I'm making my adjustments right then. The moment Surtain goes down, and they took that little time out to check on Surtain, hey, my play immediately changes right then. I'm calling Dak to the sideline. Hey, this is all Pickens. We got a brand new player coming in. No, we about to warm him up. We about to set him on blaze. We about to torch him. He want to get warmed up? He about to get warmed up today. I'm going right to George Pickens. That's all I needed to know. I'm going right to George Pickens. I don't understand. Michael Irvin is saying the same thing I said last night. Why didn't the Cowboys make these kinds of adjustments? We don't do it. Sean Payton made that adjustment. Oh, they lining up Traquez Bridges. Okay. Who on him? Who is he on? Because that's where we're going.
I was like, these are the little things that you have to do when especially you have that kind of defense who's going to give up points every time. It's going to be 3 or 7. There's no getting around it. And they couldn't stop anybody today. And then the one time they did get a stop on 3rd down early in that game, they were lined up off sides. Denver gets another 1st down because of the lined up off sides. They stopped them on 3rd and 4 or something like that. But then they get a 1st down on the pre-snap penalty, which Dallas had a lot of those. And then of course there's no way. There's just no freaking fucking way Dallas can stop anybody twice.
Did I not say this? It made no sense when Brian Schottenheimer gets in 4th and 2. Brian Schottenheimer says, yeah, we wanted to pin him deep. For what? We could have put the Denver Broncos in the parking lot. They'd have made their way to the end zone. They'd have got through the security and us. We couldn't stop the Denver Broncos. I'm sorry. I'm playing John Madden football from this point forward from the Cowboys. I'm playing John Madden football. I told you before, if I get past the 50, anything 4th and 4 or less, I'm going for it. Anything 4th and 4 or less, I'm going for it. I'm telling you, I'm not allowing myself to put I'm not going to put this game in the hands of this defense. I know it. I got to be in my reality. And Brian Schottenheimer keeps trying to give this defense opportunities to rise to the occasion. Why? No. What's the difference in giving a team a short field to score and giving that team a long field to score in this defense? I'm going John Madden football on this thing. I'm going in every game with the understanding, y'all be ready to go for it on 4th down. 4 down territory. I get past the 50, 4 down territory. 4 down territory. Our goal from this point forward is touchdowns. I don't want no. I'm not worried about field goals no more. They're not going to beat teams because our defense can't stop anybody. The only thing we're going to do is say, okay, how much we want to get beat by. No, I'm going for it all. And with the weapons this team has, they should absolutely be able to go for it on a 4th and 2. But I'm going to tell you what took that 4th and 2 away from the Cowboys. Not establishing the run with Javonte Williams early, and deciding that they're going to get Jaden Blue going early. You don't get Jaden Blue going early. This was the Javonte Williams game, and I do not understand the mindset. Angie the Rebel Chicks is in the building. Unofficial co-host, what's going on with you? Good to see you. But I'm telling you, Michael Irvin is saying some of the same things y'all heard me say last night. Some of the same things. And it burns me up. I'm not saying that Dak don't deserve some blame. But this, to me, it's on Brian Schottenheimer. I'm giving Dak Prescott as little as I can, 10%. I'm the coach. I'm the offense coordinator. I have got to recognize when I get mismatches out there on that field, I must exploit them. My game plan must be built around the exploitation of the weaknesses of that defense. And when Patrick Surtain goes down, and oh gosh, man, to put Moss on Lamb and to not be eating him up, should have opened the game with that. Well, they should have opened the game establishing Javonte Williams on those first few drives. And again, I don't care if they're stopping Javonte Williams. That's not my point for running him. My point for running him is to let them know we're going to run the ball today. It don't matter to us if you stop him. We're running the ball. And we're going to run the ball, and we're going to run the ball, and we're going to figure out ways to run the ball. Man, I'm telling you, we just...
If you get 2 stops the whole game with that defense, it's a miracle.
Yeah.
It's literally a miracle. So once you got that 1 stop, after you didn't get a touchdown the first time, that was it. It was over.
Did I not say this last night? There were some pivotal plays in that game. And I still say the most pivotal play in that game, the most pivotal series in that game. Man, with the way Sean Payton picked on Triquez Bridges, the Cowboys owed it to Triquez Bridges. I don't care if he got that interception by an underthrow, overthrow, or somebody handed it to him. I don't care how he got it. He got it. And when you get those kinds of advantages in a game, and you get to the half-yard line and you don't score a touchdown, I don't care if it's 4th down, the Cowboys should have went for it. I don't care if it's 4th and goal on the 6, they still should have went for it. Them 3 points didn't give you, they didn't, those 3 points aren't adding anything to that team. The Denver Broncos 3 was not going to be enough.
Bo Nix looked like John Elway. Everything he threw was a perfect pass. Everything that team did worked perfectly. They dissected the Dallas Cowboys, broke them down, chewed them up, and spit them out. Dak Prescott played his worst game of the year. Threw interceptions. This was an ugly showing, and it shows you the volatility of this whole unit. You know, offense can look so good at home and so bad on the road.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? What did I tell you? I even said in the video that I made today about Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott said something that I pushed back on. Dak Prescott said, we don't have an identity and we're inconsistent. No, that's not true. No, you do have an identity. The Cowboys' identity is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That's their identity. And they are consistent. The Cowboys are absolutely consistent because they're consistently inconsistent. The Cowboys are consistently inconsistent. They're aggressive at home. They're not aggressive on the road. They're fired up at home. They're scared on the road. What did I say last night? Brian Schottenheimer called that game like a pure punk. Straight up and down, pure punk. You don't even have Patrick Surtain in the game, man. You don't even have Patrick Surtain. You couldn't figure out a way to get George Pickens deep. They're consistently inconsistent. Their identity is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That's exactly who they are. They're a home team and a bad road team. The defense is bad in both instances, so we don't even have to have the discussion. That's why I said last night, we don't have to have a discussion about the defense. It's terrible. And our reality, whether we like it or not, Michael Irvin is telling y'all the same thing I told you, and you don't like it, I had to let Michael Irvin tell you. You better learn how to score 40 points on the road. You better learn how to score 35 points. I said 35. Mike said you got to score 40 at home and on the road. I don't care if you like it. That's our reality. You got to be where your feet are. That's our reality. That is our reality. And I'm telling you, we can say Dak Prescott, and I'm not, the playmaker. Y'all already know. That's my favorite Dallas Cowboy of all time. He's an absolute monster. I'd take him over every wide receiver in history. Only conversation I'm having is Jerry Rice, but I'm taking Michael Irvin over every wide receiver in history. Michael is telling y'all, I said this stuff before. I hadn't even heard all of this interview. I only heard the first 2 minutes of it. But I knew the stuff that Mike was saying. I'm like, Mike is saying some of the same stuff I said about this team. I said it last night. This came out today. I said, we were looking at it last night. I was diagramming it up, and I'm laughing because I forgot the person in the chat. I forgot the person in the chat, but now I see what he said. He told me that math is not my specialty. He told me that math is not my specialty because there was one line that I didn't get right on my addition and subtraction last night. But see, I broke this all down last night. Did I not break this down last night? I broke this down last night. I said the Cowboys are a different team on the road. If you just look at the score. Yeah, column 2 is where I added wrong. I was looking at this the day before I came on. I said, this is what he was talking about. Okay, because right here I got 65. Let me see. And I guess I got this wrong. Hold on. 11. I'm doing this without a calculator. This is old school. What was that? 31, 45, 52. So that's 75, right? I'm old school. I'm not like the new school people. I like to do stuff without a calculator. My sons always be laughing because I like to do math. I like to do my math in my head. That's the old school in me. I'm thinking that's 75. If it's not, y'all tell me. Y'all can see it right there on the screen. But if you look at this team at home and on the road, it's very simple. They've scored 40 against the Giants, 40 against the Packers, 40 against the Commanders. 2 wins and a tie. The one road game they won, they scored 37. Against the Chicago Bears, they scored 14. Against the Panthers, they scored what is that, 27. And then against the Broncos, we scored 24. I'm just keeping us in reality. If we don't score 35 plus points on the road and 40 points at home, we're not going to win. That's our reality. You can love it, like it, or hate it. Now, my hope is that maybe if we get Demarion Overshown back, maybe when we get Josh Butler, I'm not going to put all these high expectations on Savon Revel Jr. I'm just excited to see him on the field. I'm not going to put too much on him. But maybe when you get those players back, and then we got to see who this person is Jerry's going to bring in with the trade. They're bringing in somebody with the trade. Book it. They're bringing in somebody with the trade. Book it. I'm telling you they are. I think one of the things that Jerry is trying to do is that Jerry is trying to temper our expectations because Jerry swung for the fences. And I'm telling you, I know this to be true. I don't care what anyone is telling you. Trey Wingo and then Jay Glazer came back and verified it. The Cowboys not only swung hard at Max Crosby, they swung hard at Trey Hendrickson and they couldn't get him. And the reason is, and I'm telling you what it is, see, people think that Jerry just be talking, but Jerry was actually telling us the truth because he's speaking what has actually transpired. They did pick up the phone and call the doggone Raiders. And by calling the Raiders, that means that the Raiders basically told them, we're not trading unless, because everybody got a price. You don't think the Raiders would give the Cowboys Max Crosby for 3 first-round draft picks? You better believe they would. I'm sure the Raiders were probably asking for two number ones. I wouldn't be surprised if they were asking for 2 number ones. They might have been asking for 2 number ones and something else. Because I'm just going to tell you straight up if it's me. The Raiders are going to show the Cowboys how to do it. The Raiders are going to show the Cowboys how to do it. Because the Cowboys should have got more, as I said earlier, they should have got more out of the Green Bay Packers. I'm telling you, they're not getting Michael Parsons unless they give me 2 number ones, maybe a third in 2027. They're also going to give me Van Ness. I don't care what anyone says. I would have took Van Ness off their hands. I'd have got Van Ness. I would have saw if I could have got a cornerback off of him also, or maybe got one of their starting safeties. I would have got more for him. But maybe the problem is because there were not other people offering as much for Michael Parsons, the Cowboys couldn't negotiate like that. So we don't know that whole story. But I can tell you this, I definitely would have tried. And so the Raiders, I guarantee you, for Max Crosby, they want something. And they're not letting the Cowboys get away like the Cowboys let the Green Bay Packers get away. They're not letting them get away. But they tried to bring somebody in. They absolutely did. But our reality is we are what we are. And we got to play to that strength for right now. And Michael Irvin is exactly right. We got to score points.
I was wondering, because, Denver's a hard place to play. And,
yeah.
Okay, I'm starting to think about maybe the communication issue, they can't hear, but you have to know how, and you have to learn how, and you have to be ready to handle those adversity on the road. You're not going anywhere. Certainly not to a playoffs, and certainly not nowhere anything. A championship game, a Super Bowl, if you can't play on the road. And right now, Dallas can't play on the road. As a matter of fact, Dallas can't play defense on the road, at home, in heaven, or in hell. No matter where you are, their defense is non-existent.
Did I not tell y'all this? You would think that Michael Irvin listened to what I said last night because this came out after what I said last night. Man, this is our reality. It does no good to cry about what we are not and talk about. It's not fair for the defense to not be good and the offense to be good. You can talk about it all you want to, but it ain't changing it. It's not changing it. And even if Jerry fires Matt Eberflus tonight after I get off here, it ain't going to change it. Because whoever you bring in, they still are going to have a little bit of a curve of trying to implement whatever patch-up job of a defense they're going to try to implement. This is our reality. You can love it, like it, or hate it. It's our reality. This offense it's no point in this offense crying. It's no point. This offense has got to go into every game and understand we know what we got to do today. We got to put up 40. But you know the part that they should feel good about? It's not like they can't do it. It's not like they can't do it. They got too many weapons on offense to not to even have put up at least 30 points on the doggone Broncos. You can't tell me the Giants can put up 32 and the Cowboys couldn't even muster up 17. Miss me. Miss me. We knew the doggone Broncos were going to put up points. Who didn't know? Captain Obvious? We knew they were going to do it. Problem is we didn't do it. We didn't do it. And we can't be sitting around crying talking about, well, the offense should have done better. How they going to do better when they can't? If they could do better, they'd be doing better. They can't do better. So you got to play like they can't do better. You have to play like they can't do better. And ain't no point in looking back. People are always looking back. Oh, yeah. When we lose, well, if they would have did. But when we win, no. We just got to be who we know who we are. We're Dr. Jekyll and we're Mr. Hyde. And if you look at the Dr. Jekyll and the Mr. Hyde movie, Dr. Jekyll understood what time it was. You got to know who you are. Bottom line. And that's why Michael Irvin is saying some of the same things I said.
And if that's the case, and it is the case, you got to have an optimized offense to take advantage of everything. And so keen and so sharp that you can give you a chance. I'm not even putting anything else on the defense.
Who was on the live stream last night? Was I not saying the same things? Michael Irvin just said, I'm not putting anything else on the defense. Did I not say that last night? I said the defense stinks. I said it last night. It's almost to the point of what's the point of talking about it? They stink. We know it. We know they stink. I mean, we can complain about it all we want to. It don't change the fact that they stink. You can spray air freshener over boo-boo all you want to, but boo-boo still stink. We got to live in our reality. Our reality is our defense stinks. And let's pray that when Overshawn comes back, Josh Butler, Savon Revel Jr., and whoever the Cowboys get in free agency, then doggone it, let's hope they're better. Let's hope that they can get to somewhere around 25 even. Bruce Branner. Yeah, a lot of us were saying the defense is going to be better. And I told you early in this conversation I was wrong. Yeah. We thought the linebacking core was the best part of this thing. We were all wrong. A lot of these players we thought were going to be good, we thought they were going to be wrong. We thought they were going to be wrong. Dominique, hey, I can tell you, you can disagree with it all you want to. You disagreeing with the playmaker too. Because he's saying all the same things I said. Now, if you're talking about this thing with George Pickens, just understand what I'm telling you about George Pickens, Dominique. George Pickens has the Dallas Cowboys in a headlock. Understand that. And if you don't understand this, and if nobody understands this, you're going to understand it when the season is over. Because I can tell you this. If the Cowboys allow George Pickens to get into some kind of bidding war, Cowboys don't fare well. Cowboys don't fare well they don't fare well when they get into bidding wars. They don't fare well. If the Cowboys let George Pickens get in any kind of bidding war, not only will he not be here, not having George Pickens on the Dallas Cowboys, if you thought that Micah Parsons was a step back, let George Pickens not be on this team. Let George Pickens not be on this team next year. George Pickens is the biggest addition to this team I've seen in years. They have got to sign George Pickens. It has got to be priority number one. Now, when I tell you if I were the Cowboys, I would make him the highest paid receiver. I'm telling you what I would do. I'm not telling you the Cowboys will do it. They probably won't do it. I'm not telling you the Cowboys will do it. I'm telling you what I would do. And the reason why I'm telling you I would do this, because it would really save you a lot of anguish in the long run. Because if you were to make him the highest paid wide receiver now, you would be shocked at how cheap that would be if you let him hit that doggone free agency market and then people really start bidding on him. Man, let me tell you something. They're going to drive that price up. They're going to drive that price up on George Pickens. Y'all better get ready. If the Cowboys play around with this George Pickens thing, they're going to drive that price up. Because I'm telling you, you don't want to imagine this dude with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid calling plays. This whole league will be in trouble. Shoot, you do not want that dude to hit that team. Now, I would worry if he hit the Eagles. But I can tell you this. But now let George Pickens hit that doggone free agency. Shoot, we talk about we don't want to make him the highest paid wide receiver. We'll all be regretting it. We'll all be regretting it if they let him go. We'll all be saying, boy, we should have paid this man. We should have said it. We should have paid this man. We'll all be saying it. But again, Michael Irvin is saying a lot of the same things I said last night. This is our reality. Bottom line.
I can't even. Disappointment only comes when you
put gaming, you ain't lying.
Expectations on something. And how the hell can anybody in their right frame of mind, anybody with any eyes in their head, any eyes in their head, and I got 5 eyes. I got these 2 and 3 in my name. I got 5 eyes. Anybody with any eyes can see. There's no such thing as D in Dallas. A lot of people like to mess around and call it the Alice Cowboys. They said take the D out because there is none, and there is.
This man is Troy.
This man. I don't give a damn now how many first-round draft picks you have. And I'm beginning to believe, even if you use all of them right now, and when it got all first-round draft picks and put them on that defense, it still can't help.
Say it again, Michael Irvin. Y'all don't have to agree. Say it again, Michael Irvin. What did I tell y'all earlier? I don't think you can bring in enough to help this defense. I don't think you can bring in enough to help it. Michael Irvin just told y'all, you can put all them first rounders out there and bring in people, and it's still not going. Y'all don't have to agree. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. Carlito Cash, this is the very point I made earlier on. This is the very point I made earlier, and why, as much as it's going to hurt some people's feelings, I don't think the Cowboys are firing Matt Eberflus. I'm not even going to waste my time on why the Cowboys should fire Matt Eberflus. I'm not wasting my time. I'm not going to get the fan base all in a frenzy because everybody can see what this defense is. Everybody can see it. But we also need to understand something, Carlito Cash, if we're looking objectively. Matt Eberflus is the third defensive coordinator in 3 years. If you bring in another defensive coordinator, it's going to be the same thing all over again. You're still going to have to get the players that fit that defensive coordinator's scheme. And while I do think this scheme stinks, I also think a part of this is when you look at the tape. You're watching players get blown off the ball. You're watching players taking bad angles. You're watching players miss tackles. You're watching players not even give the effort sometimes. You're watching players who look like they don't even know what the heck is going on. Yeah, it's a scheme. Some of it is the players. And I think one of the things that we might ought to start admitting that we don't seem to want to admit, but we're going to have to admit it because I'm admitting it. The talent level on the defense, it's just not that good right now. Just got to admit it. Talent level ain't that good. I don't know what else to tell us. I mean, it's just not that good. So we're going to see what happens.
It couldn't help.
Tell him, Mike.
I know Dallas is banged up, but people are banged up all over the league. And I'm sorry, we're coming up on week 9 now. This Matt Eberflus thing, something has to change here. I don't know what's going on here. Somebody has to do something. And I don't want to give them, I don't give a damn about we got these many players hurt. We got this, but it's all over the league. And people are still finding ways to get things done. And I mean, I don't even know if you can call this a professional defense that we are watching right now. I understand that the offense is going to be up and down, but damn, can somebody decide, anybody just decide to play some defense? I mean, God almighty. One moment in the game, it was one big play after the other. One big play after the other. One big play after the other. I was like, wow. I mean, everybody. People don't even know who they're covering. I don't give a damn if you get beat. This is a physical game and you're playing against professionals. And they get paid to make plays also. So sometimes you're going to lose. Sometimes you're going to get beat. But damn, I'll take sometimes getting beat, but all the times getting beat down is a whole nother story.
Woo. Boy, Mike is spitting, boy. Woo. That's all I can tell you. Boy, Mike is spitting. Woo.
It's all the time, not getting beat down. And that is just, man. And I just don't see enough out of the offense. I don't see where they say, we got to match. We got to match. We got to go pound for pound.
Woo!
Shit, they score a touchdown, we score a touchdown. They score a field goal, we score a touchdown. We got to match.
What did I say? We got to live in our reality. We have to live in our reality. I'm not listening to it ain't fair. Go get you some cotton candy. I'm not listening to it ain't fair. Michael Irvin said the same thing I said last night. Man, I'm not even worried. I'm not talking about the defense because we know they're trash. Captain Obvious. Yeah, we know they're trash. But our offense is not trash. Our offense is not trash. And we got to play this game the way we know how to play this game. And if we know we got to put up points, it's one thing to know you have to put up points and you're not capable of putting up points. But when you got to put up points and you know you got the doggone weapons to put up the points, then put up the points. Put up the doggone points. And then we gotta let Dak Prescott, yeah, he out of the MVP race. Why? Because he played bad? I don't think that's true. I think Dak is going to still be in the MVP race. The issue is, what will their record be? That's the key. What will their record be? Because if they can get in the playoffs and have a winning record, Dak Prescott, if he continues on this trajectory, because one game isn't the trajectory, this dude has been balling and he gonna keep on balling. He gonna ball against the Cardinals. And I'm gonna tell you something. I think Brandy might have brought this up. Man, all this talk about Dak and no interceptions and 3 touchdowns a game and blah, blah, blah. I want to say surely that didn't get to Dak Prescott. But, man, sometimes when stuff gets brought to your attention, boy, you got to be real careful. You got to be real careful, man. You'll start pressing and all kinds of stuff. Hey, I see you, Four Pockets. Yeah, we got to pay him even for street money. We got to pay him. Yeah, we got to pay him. I'm telling us, Michael Irvin is saying a lot of the same things I said last night. A lot of the same things. We got to know what our reality is. Yep, the coaching stuff got to change. Just don't know what it is. I don't. Rebel said they barely using Lil Fowl, but G said give Flus good players and his scheme will work. No, I didn't say that. I'm saying from an objective standpoint that may be what the Cowboys are saying. Because I've already said this earlier, Angie. I don't think no matter who they bring in, you still got the scheme problem. You still got the scheme problem. Or maybe Matt Eberflus is arguing, but if I get the players, the scheme works. But, and again, Angie, I said this, I don't really know how it would work if he got players. I just don't think it would fix it if he got players. Because there are some other things fundamentally wrong here. But I can tell you this, I'm not going to say no names, but I have seen some people who do a very good job of breaking down film and analyzing games. I have seen some things they have written straight up, no exception. Matt Eberflus' system is great. If the players will buy in and execute it, it works. I've seen them say it. I've seen them say it. Now, me, I can go back and play the video. I did the video on this thing 3 months ago when I said this was going to be a problem. I said it, and the same people who bashing him and killing him, they were saying, no, he's going to be great. The same people who bashing him and killing him and say he's going to be great. No problem, because sometimes we get it wrong. So there's no point in criticism. But at the same time, Matt Eberflus, at the end of the day, First-year coach. First-year coach. He's got a lot of players left over from 3 different regimes. He's got a lot of players left over. And the reason why, again, I'm using logic. Stephen Jones said it was a mistake. Jerry Jones said it was a mistake. So why would they make the mistake again? Why would they want 4 defensive coordinators in 4 years? Why would they want 4? I think the Cowboys are going to give him an opportunity. And I've already told y'all, prepare yourself. I won't be shocked if the Cowboys fire Eberflus, and I won't be shocked if they keep Eberflus all the way through next year. Because the Cowboys may very well be saying he don't have the players yet. And again, I'm going to push back on everybody with the biggest argument that many of us have made. I'm going to push back on you with the biggest arguments you've made. And if I was Matt Eberflus, I'd use it against you. I'd use it against Jerry. What do you expect me to do? I don't have Michael Parsons no more. I've heard so many people say, this defense will be better with Michael Parsons. The Cowboys are stupid for trading Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons covered up a whole lot of stuff. Well, if I'm Matt Eberflus, that's my argument. You just made it for me. You just made my argument. You just made my argument. And the Cowboys may very well be saying some of these same things. Let's see what he looks like with players. Y'all better get ready. That's all I'm telling you. Y'all better prepare yourselves. I'm not going to put myself through mental anguish. I know what this team is. I know what this team identity is. People talking about this team don't have an identity. Yes, it does. It's Dr. Jekyll and it's Mr. Hyde. Bass said, gee, you notice how there isn't a single player banging on the table in defense for Matt Eberflus. Not a single player. That has volume words. Can't even begin to align with that decibel. Now, Bass, silence is deafening. Silence is deafening. I agree with you. Not one player has said a word. And again, I'm not new to this. I made this argument. The players in Chicago. It was almost a mutiny. They didn't want him there no more. Did I not make this argument? I made this argument even 3 or 4 weeks ago because I was talking about the fact I didn't understand what people were calling successful. Because what did I say? I called successful playoff wins, going to the Super Bowl wins. Did I not compare Matt Eberflus to the defensive coordinator over there in Kansas City? That's what I call successful. When you're the defensive coordinator that beat Tom Brady in 2 of the Super Bowls he lost, yeah, you got success, bro. You have success. That's the coach I'm looking for. I questioned Matt Eberflus when they brought him in. And people were saying this dude was going to be great. I don't know how to slice it. And even with Michael Irvin, I think Michael Irvin is saying the same things I said today. I think this is a combination. Matt Eberflus' system stinks. I'll agree with you. But is there some bad play by players? Yes, it is.
They get no points. We get at least a field goal. You got a match. Anyone can see. Don't expect anything out of the defense. I need this offense to come into every game with a matching game mentality.
Did I not say this? I'm not arguing the Cowboys defense no more. You're just being Captain Obvious. Stevie Wonder could tell you the Dallas Cowboys defense is bad. A child could look at the Cowboys team and say the defense is bad. It's Captain Obvious at this point. We got to live in our reality. The defense is bad, but the offense is incredible. So play to your strength. I said it, Ron Hanna, he's in his bag. And Ron Hanna, were you on the live last night? I said a lot of these same things, and Mike is echoing those things. He said clearly the same thing I said. I said it last night. This came out today. Or at least this is when I got it, but I thought it came out today. Mike clearly said, not talking about Cowboys defense no more. Why not? Because we know what it is. It's terrible. But your offense is incredible. So your offense needs to know the assignment. You got to learn to not be Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You score 40 points a game at home, and then you go on the road and you score an average of 24. Why don't you have that same energy? And don't give me it's the Denver Broncos. The Carolina Panthers did it to us. The Chicago Bears did it to us. Don't give me it's the Denver Broncos. We got outcoached by the Carolina Panthers, outcoached by the Chicago Bears, and now we've gotten outcoached by Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos. Straight facts. Outcoached. We know Matt Eberflus' defense is bad, but what we can't explain is why in the world was Brian Schottenheimer not being aggressive?
A matching mentality. I don't know, even offensively, if I say bad game plan. You know, I thought that first time down, right, when we got down to the goal line, they handed the ball off to Javonte one time. Bam.
What'd he say? Bad game plan. I said the same thing last night. And now Dak Prescott is getting blamed for a bad game plan. It was a bad game plan. Brian Schottenheimer admitted it too. The game plan stunk.
Yeah. Then the second time they tried to roll out and throw a ball. Okay, that's the ball I think that went to, that's the ball that went to George. That Pat got hurt on, Pat Surtain got hurt on. And then the third play, that's when they tried to squeeze it into CeeDee Lamb. When Pat Surtain had gone off the field, and you should have gone backside to George Pickens again. And even in that first play, the one that George Pickens did not get, I wanted to break that route down because George came up inside and he was climbing with Pat Surtain on his right side. He was going to cut in. And you can see, I think it was Ferguson went first. And you can see where the hole was going to open up had George held up just a little bit longer, a little more patient. A little more patient, stem him up. Almost take him to the back of the goal line. Once you get closer and closer to that goal line, he's going to start grabbing because he knows you're running out of room. He'll start grabbing. But then you push him all the way back to the goal line, you hold him, and then you turn and don't run across the field. I need you to hold him up here, turn, and then run a little bit back towards the line of scrimmage. That away from the cornerback, coming back towards the goal line. Now you keep that angle right. If you go here, if you're holding, if this is George Pickens and this is Pat Surtain. George came inside, held him here, and then went running across here. So he held him, and then he was running upfield here. Pat comes up under him, and hit the ball and try to knock the ball down. Now, if I'm coaching that, I'm telling him, man, you got all kind of time. Because Dak's going to turn around. He's going to first look at Ferguson or whoever that was on the drag. And then that second, what we call in route, comes real late and it'll be wide open. But you got to hold Patrick here with your shoulder. And when you let him go late. George let him go a little too early. And then when he let him go, he started running across the field and he ran up the field, which gave him a chance to run on a sharper angle up under George, undercut him, at least hit his hand and knock the ball down. You see, but if I hold him up high and then I run down, he would have never been able to undercut me. When George went up the field, he undercut. But if he comes back back towards the line of scrimmage, he would have kept that separation and you'd have had that touchdown. I wanted that touchdown early on because I thought it would have been a great boost.
It was the most pivotal drive of the game.
Then the third down, that's when we threw the CeeDee Lamb. I was upset because I thought on first down we ran that ball with Javonte Williams. I wanted to come back and run it again.
Exactly.
But I felt like, oh God, here they go. They're trying to get Dak a fifth game of 3 touchdowns with no interceptions when we should have been thinking about a damn touchdown. Run.
Michael Irvin is saying that Brian Schottenheimer pulled a Pete Carroll. When Pete Carroll you got Marshawn Lynch in the background, and you're going to try to get Russell Wilson an MVP and let him throw a quick slant down there, what was it, 1 or the 2 yard line? Man, I told y'all, Brian Schottenheimer be getting a little too cute sometimes. And on the road especially. Bro, you on the half-yard line, run the ball 4 times. I didn't say 3, run it 4. That was the most pivotal drive. I said it last night. It was the most pivotal drive of the game. The Cowboys needed that touchdown, that first drive. I think it changes the game. Big mistake by the Cowboys.
The damn ball again. That's what you should have done. You talk about running all the time, and you gotten pretty good. You got like 2 yards on the first down, and we're only about 2 yards away. Let's run the ball again. You should have ran it again. All of it. Just bad all the way around. I don't know. I don't know now. You know, even if I don't know how excited to get now, even when the Cowboys win, because you could give me what you gave me against Washington one week, and then come and give me what you gave me today the next week.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
I feel like a damn basketball in a football game. I'm just bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down. And
Brandon Mahoney, let me read your super chat. I was laughing so hard. Brandon, I was laughing so hard. I had to send it to my wife, Brandon Mahoney, because I was rolling. Because I was laughing because Mike basically said, man, when I missed church, Brandon, he said when I missed church, I knew it was over. That man said he knew it was over, boy.
I don't know how you ever grab that and say you're going to have a chance to do something down the road.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Up and down, like a basketball in the National Football League. Like the Dallas Cowboys are doing. And I'm talking about offensively. I'm not even saying defensively that you're bouncing up and down. You just bouncing down. Way down. Remember that Curly with the goal try to dribble way down there, real low. Never let the ball came up here to dribble. That's how the Dallas Cowboys defense. They're just bouncing down. There is no up. And I didn't even buy into the up last week. against Washington. No Debo Samuel, no Terry McLaurin, none of that. So I didn't buy into the up. Man, I held out hope that this offense can get good enough to cover up the holes and the sores and the bad spots on that Dallas defense.
That's it.
I got to rethink that.
That's it.
I got to rethink it. And I'm going to tell you, I don't give a damn about next year, the year after that, the year after that. Go trade everything you got and find something. Anything is better than what you have right now on defense. That's the bottom line. I don't know if it's possible to find a defense in the entire world worse than the Dallas Cowboys defense. I mean, whatever defense in any realm.
Woo!
This is the worst defense of all of defenses ever in the history of defense.
I'm telling y'all, man, the Dallas Cowboys defense is such a conundrum. Because on one hand, you know it's the scheme. But on the other hand, you know it's the players. Some of the players. I mean, it's such a combination of just craziness. And so the Cowboys, man, I'll be honest with you. This is why I've been kind of, you know, a lot of people like to get into all the who should the Cowboys trade for. And I just can't get into it like that because I just don't really know what they could do to fix this. Because at this point, the more games they play, the less they can fix it. I just don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I just don't know how do they fix it. I don't know. The defense, I said it last night, and I'm gonna stick to my original premise. I think the Cowboys gotta blow it up. I think they have to blow it up defensively. I think they have to blow it up. And the reason why I think they have to blow it up, whether it be Matt Eberflus, who's the coach, or whether it's somebody else that's the coach. The Cowboys have got to blow it up and make sure that coach that comes in, that you get the players that fit that coach's scheme. Now, some of these players, again, they're going to have to keep. You don't have no choice but to keep Donovan Ezeraku. It definitely don't make sense to get rid of Kenny Clark. You're going to keep Donovan Ezeraku. You drafted him. So you got Oso Digizua, Donovan Ezeraku. Donovan Ezeraku is doing really, really well. He's getting better and better every week. You got to keep Kenny Clark. I would even keep Jadeveon Clown if they could keep him for a good price. Sam Williams, Dante Fowler. Marshawn Nealon hasn't played worth a flip. Marshawn Nealon, he could go to if I were the Cowboys. Linebacking crew, I'm only keeping Maurice Leofau. Well, I keep Maurice Leofau, Shamar James, Demarion Overshown, Damone Clark, Sanborn. They could get up out of here. And then I would still go and see if I could get a top-flight linebacker to go along with Demarion Overshown because I don't think he's enough. I would go and see, get a big-time linebacker, whether that be out of college or in free agency. And, man, in the secondary, you got DeRon Bland, you got to keep him. Savon Revel Jr., I would keep him. Reddy, I would keep him. I would put Wanye Thomas and Marquise Bell at the safety positions, and then I would draft for depth in the secondary and still see if maybe I could go out there in free agency And I think the Cowboys are rolling with Savon Revel Jr. and Deron Bland. But I would still go out there in free agency and see if there was another defensive back I could bring in that could still shore up this thing, because you're still going to need some depth and you still need some, some just in case. But the Cowboys, if I were them, I'd blow up most of this defense. I would go out there and I would go in the draft and I would go in free agency, and I'm going all defense. George Pickens is my priority on offense. I don't need anything else on offense. I'll simply extend Javonte Williams, continue to develop Jaden Blue, see what he is. Phil Maffa, I would definitely want to see what Phil Maffa is. But the Cowboys don't really need a lot offensively. Ferg's already up on the contract. Turpin's on the contract. Cowboys just don't really need to do a lot offensively. George Pickens is the priority. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm going all defense. I think they got to blow it up and go all defense. All defense. Just whoever you're going to get. Get the players that fit that scheme. Get the players that fits that scheme. That's the bottom line. Who fits that scheme? But again, this is why I'm telling y'all, I won't be shocked if the Cowboys fire Matt Eberflus. But I'm also not going to be shocked if they keep Matt Eberflus, because they made this loud and clear. It was a mistake going with 3, and now you're going to go with 4. I'm struggling. I don't know if they're going to do it. Michael Postal, he said the OC game plan was horrible. It was atrocious. I'm riding with Brian Schottenheimer till the wheels fall off, but that game plan was terrible. There is no way you don't attack those corners. There's no way you don't attack them. I'm attacking those corners. There's no way that Moss should have been able to hold. Moss should have been able to hold doggone CeeDee Lamb. There's no way. There is no way. These outside wide receivers are too good. There's no way you should be able to hold them. Especially in a game, like I said, man, there's no way. Michael Postal, we made a huge mistake yesterday. I'm advocating for Jaden Blue, but they made a huge mistake in not trying to establish Javonte Williams early in that game. A huge mistake. I don't understand why they tried to get Jaden Blue involved early. This should have been Javonte Williams' game. Rebel Chicks. Now, I don't know if you remember. I did a video on this too. It's on my channel. The expectations of Brian Schottenheimer. Go back and look at Brian Schottenheimer when DK Metcalf came to Seattle. Yeah, he did all that running that year before DK Metcalf got there. When DK Metcalf got there, he turned it up. Do we remember Let Russ Cook? Why do we think that came along? Because Brian Schottenheimer did want to let Russ cook. It was Pete Carroll who put the governor on Brian Schottenheimer and didn't want Brian Schottenheimer to let Russ cook as much, because because Pete Carroll is content with running the ball, running out the clock. He don't mind winning close games. He just don't mind doing it. But Brian Schottenheimer, we got to understand something about Brian Schottenheimer. He's similar to Kellen Moore. What do they both have in common? They are ex-quarterbacks. Brian Schottenheimer and Kellen Moore are ex-quarterbacks. I do believe Brian Schottenheimer likes a power run game. I do believe he likes to run the ball. But when you give that man weapons, he's a quarterback at heart. He wants to throw the ball. There's no doubt about it. He wants to throw the ball. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. But again, man, with the weapons he got, should have destroyed the Denver Broncos yesterday when they had them 2 cornerbacks out there. Rich Lloyd, good to see you. He said they might as well blitz and play man. They'll get torched quicker and give the offense more opportunities. Rich Lloyd, I already said it. I'm going John Madden football from this point forward. I'm going John Madden football from this point forward from the Cowboys. I'm telling my team, get ready. We're going for it on fourth down quite a bit. Once we cross that 50, we're going for it. We are going to continue to extend drives. The Cowboys have too many weapons to be stopped on a 4th and 2. A 4th and 2 should be a no-brainer. For this offense, shameful. See, Bass, he said, what bothers me, G, is if it's the players, why are those players never benched? If it's the scheme and Jerry made Eberflus change the scheme for a game, why hasn't he made him do it again? Now, see, Bass, let's talk logically for a moment. I said this after the game. Brian Schottenheimer said this after the game. That game called for the Cowboys to do man because they were playing their 4th, 5th, and 6th wide receiver. And I kept prefacing with, we'll see how they look the next week. We'll see how they look the next week. And if you'll notice, I talked about in the pregame show, prepare yourselves. What did I say? Cowboys are not going to run as much man. Why? Because Bo Nix had been struggling in zone. Bo Nix, it showed that he'd been struggling throwing against zone all year. The wide receivers were better. The wide receivers were better for the Denver Broncos. I mean, even if they don't got necessarily superstar receivers, those receivers were still better than what the Washington Commanders put on the field. So it didn't call for them to do that. So they went back to zone because it called for it. We should be able to stop Bo Nix with zone. Boy, they couldn't stop Bo Nix. The Cowboys, we should take, as far as their defense goes, we should just take stop out of the whole conversation. Just take stop out of the whole conversation. C-Matt D said, people blaming Jerry is crazy. C-Matt, I've already said this. You know, I'm struggling with the whole Jerry thing. The same people who get mad at Jerry Jones for bringing in Matt Eberflus or singing the praises of Brian Schottenheimer. Who do you think hired Brian Schottenheimer? Same people who mad at Jerry for trading Michael Parsons. Who do you think bought in George Pickens? I just think it's a combination of things. I think it's the scheme, but I also think some of this is the players. I do. I think some of this is the players. Michael Postal. I was questioning this thing about Matt Eberflus when it first happened. And I started asking about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I said, who hired Matt Eberflus? I asked the question. I said, who hired him? Jerry hired him. And I think Jerry's going to give him at least I think Jerry's going to give him the opportunity. I think he's going to give him the opportunity. Because again, I mean, I'm just telling us, some of us don't realize it, but we're talking out of both sides of our mouth. You're telling me that this team would be better with Michael Parsons. Well, you don't have Michael Parsons. And I said before, you don't replace Michael Parsons with one player. You replace him with multiple players. And I think the players they thought they were going to be able to replace him with didn't work out, and that's Sam Williams and Dante Fowler. It is what it is. But like I told y'all before, y'all can work yourselves up y'all want to. I won't be. I won't be working myself up. I know what this team is. It is consistent. It's consistently inconsistent. I know what this team is. It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I expect 40 points at home, and until they show me something different, they better score 35-40 or else it's a loss. So we're going to see how it works out. But again, I'm rolling with the Cowboys until the wheels fall off and the frame is scraping on the ground. Ron Hanna, the Cowboys went all deep. They went all defense in free agency this year, other than George Pickens. George Pickens, they bought in who? George Pickens, Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders. Those are the three players I can remember off the top of my head. Paris Campbell, but we all kind of thought Paris Campbell probably wasn't going to make it for the Cowboys. I think we all kind of thought that. I think a lot of us were surprised that Miles Sanders made the team. But I think we understand why he made the team now. But what was that? I think that was offensively, right? I mean, help me out. I can't think of anybody else offensively. Of course, we brought in Tyler Booker. We brought him in on the offensive line. But when you think about in free agency, man, the Cowboys went majority defense. They went majority defense. Solomon Thomas, Dante Fowler, Perion Winfrey, James Houston, Kyer Elam, Jack Sanborn, Kenneth Murray Jr., I think his name is. I mean, the Cowboys just went. I mean, we really thought this defense. I thought the linebacking crew was the most improved part of the thing, but I still question why did they bring in Matt Eberflus, because I still question it from the standpoint of my definition of success is just different. My definition of success is just different. I'm just telling you. Marvin Mays, man, I wish he would sometimes. He said Dex has to call an audible and not listen to the call if he feels the call is bad. I wish he would. Rich Lloyd, oh, you just found something the Cowboys defense can stop. Positivity. Yep, you're right. Oh, there's something else they can stop too. They can also stop a win. Boy. Angie, I don't know if they wanted Mike McCarthy back. I don't think they wanted Mike McCarthy back. No, Angie, I think you I don't know what you're hearing, but I'm telling you that Jerry does make mistakes. I'm telling you the balance of the situation. Jerry makes mistakes and Jerry does good things too. And that's why I say that's where the conflict is. We got people that want to throw Jerry away for hiring Matt Eberflus. That's a mistake. But he also hired Brian Schottenheimer, and people are singing Brian Schottenheimer's praises. We got people who are mad at Jerry Jones for trading Micah Parsons. But you got to sing his praises for bringing in George Pickens. I'm saying he makes mistakes, but Jerry's done some great things too. Jerry's done some absolutely great things. And I think Jerry thought he was doing good things on defense. He just didn't do it. Just didn't do it. And I do agree. I do think they went shopping at the Dollar Tree in some respects. But I do think the Cowboys kind of paid Dante Fowler some money. Cowboys did pay, what's his name? Did they pay Murray Jr. some money? But again, we got to understand some of the circumstances that were behind all this too. The Cowboys not only paid those two players, everybody else, they kind of got them on some of these prove-it things. But the Cowboys also extended Kevontae Turpin. Cowboys also extended, who was the other player? They extended Oso Digizua before that. The Cowboys extended Jake Ferguson. The Cowboys extended Ty Smith. The Cowboys, I mean, no matter how you slice it, the Cowboys have done, because if they have not done some great things, then why would the offense be the number one offense in football? That's not an accident. That's not an accident. The problem is they went cheap on defense. They went too cheap on defense. But again, I don't know if they went too cheap on defense because we paid Oso Digizua. And a lot of people now are starting to question Oso Digizua. Oso Digizua. Well, even a dead clock is right 2 times a day, Angie. So you still got to acknowledge that the clock is right 2 times a day. But I'm not going to kill Jerry Jones. But Jerry Jones, I said this before anybody was saying it. I thought Matt Eberflus was a mistake from the beginning. And for me, once again, I'm not working myself up over it because it is what it is. It's our reality at this point. It's our reality at this point, and crying about it ain't going to change it. And Dak has said this. Brian has said this. It ain't going to do no good. And even Michael Irvin is saying it. I'm not talking about the defense no more. It's Captain Obvious at this point. You have to go with what you are. I can't complain about what I'm not. I have to complain. I have to do what I have to do with what I am. And the Cowboys have a dynamic offense, and that's how they're going to have to win it. That's how they're going to have to win it. That's how they're going to have to win it. Bottom line, going to have to win it. So we'll see what happens. But I think this team, until they show me something different, they're going to make everybody mad, I believe. I said the same thing when they played the Washington Commanders at home. Cowboys are going to make everybody mad when they play the play the Arizona Cardinals. Mills 36, he said we had another bad draft. Not sure if we had a bad draft. Let's see. Who did we get in the draft? Tyler Booker. That's bad? How's Tyler Booker a bad pick in the draft, Mills? Donovan Ezeraku? There's no way Donovan Ezeraku is bad. There's just no way. Savon Revel Jr.? We'll see what Savon Revel Jr. is, but I can tell you this. All of these draft gurus, they all said the same thing about Savon Revel Jr. Savon Revel Jr. would have been the first cornerback off the board had he not got injured. He's the first cornerback off the board if he doesn't get injured. Cowboys took a chance on him with a third round draft pick. And so now we just got to see how he turns out. Savon Revel Jr. is yet to be determined. We don't have to say he's going to be a superstar cornerback yet, but we definitely don't need to be bashing him. We got to give him an opportunity to prove himself. And let's not let him come out in one game like so many people like to do. Oh, he's terrible. Let's give him an opportunity. So when I look at those first three picks, I don't know if that's bad. Jonathan Mingo was our 4th round pick. We don't know if Jonathan Mingo is bad yet. We've yet to see him with Dak Prescott. So when I think about the first 4 players the Cowboys drafted in this year's draft, Mills, how is it bad? Tyler Booker has been great. Donovan Ezeraku, go look at the film. This dude has been great. Savon Revel Jr., we'll see what he is. We'll see what Savon. Jonathan Mingo, we'll see what he is. We got in the 5th round, Jaden Blue. We'll see what Jaden Blue is. He looked pretty good yesterday with the exception of that fumble. But I still say they're not using him right. Who do we get next? Can't remember who we got next off the top of my head. Was it Shamar James? Maybe it was Shamar James and then we went Jay Toya? We had so many picks in the 7th round, somewhere in that 6th, 7th round, whatever, how many we had. Man, I can't even remember how many we had. But we got some players kind of back there. But I don't think you can say this draft was bad yet. I think this draft is still yet to be determined. But if you're talking to me about Tyler Booker, now I think Tyler Booker is great. I think Donovan Ezeraku is great. Savon Revel Jr., I'm not going to trash Savon Revel Jr. Savon Revel Jr., we'll see what he is. Jaden Blue, still got a little bit of time. We'll see. Four Pocket said we went cheap on D. Didn't get quality defensive players. And I will say the theme of this training camp, free agency, whatever we did, I say the theme of it was, if I could use a theme, it was ex-first round draft picks. It was ex-first round draft picks. But again, I say we went cheap, but I still say we got some good players in free agency. Solomon Thomas has been great. Solomon Thomas has been great for the Cowboys. He absolutely has been. We paid a little bit of money, I thought, for Dante Fowler, too. Let me see. Dante Fowler Jr., what was his contract? Thought the Cowboys paid him 1 year, $6 million. $5 million guaranteed. Okay, I guess we can call that cheap. We bought in Murray Jr. How much was his contract here? I can't remember how much his contract was. Thought they paid him some pretty decent money. Yeah, Murray. I mean, I don't know. Y'all tell me what cheap is. I mean, doggone it, man. We paid for Murray. We gave him a 2-year, $15 million deal. I mean, y'all define what cheap is for me. Tell me what you're looking for. Tell me what are you wanting to pay? I thought what they paid for Murray, that's well, he probably getting overpaid. 2 years, $15.5 million. You brought in Dante, so that's $15.5 million for him. Dante Fowler, you brought him in for $6 million. Okay, tell me what you think. Tell me what you're classifying as cheap. Yeah, just tell me what you're classifying as cheap. But I can tell you this. A part of this is all roads are pointing to George Pickens. All roads are pointing to George Pickens. You can call us, we can call, yeah, we went cheap on defense, but our offense, we ain't cheap on there. We're not cheap on defense. I mean, I'm sorry, we're not cheap on offense. Cowboys' issue is they got to figure out a way to have some balance. But I don't know. You tell me. I think Kenneth Murray Jr., man, that's a little steep for him. Kenneth Murray Jr. has not been playing at the $15.5 million. He just hasn't been playing at that level, man. He hasn't been. But also, let me see here. Hold on a second. Charles Washington, let me see. Maybe he give me some insight. Let me see. Charles Washington, I like the point that you made here. It's a very good point. Charles Washington said the Steelers spent $200 million for its defense. It's about how players play well together, no matter how much it costs. I give you that. Because I'm still saying, even if you spent the money on defense and you went out and hired Matt Eberflus, I'm still questioning how good would it look. I'm just questioning how it would look. I just don't know. I can't even call it on it. Heads or tails, how would it look? But Rome wasn't built in a day. You can love it, like it, or hate it. I told you, you can't build the best roster in football. Stephen Jones said he wanted to build the best roster in football. Can't build the best roster in football in 1 year. You can't. And even as it applies to Howie Roseman, he did not build the best roster in football in 1 year. He didn't. It took him time. It took him time to get that roster to where it is. And now he's got that roster kind of humming with the way he kind of turns it over and lets a few players go and then bring some more players in and they kind of keep that consistency going. But it takes time to get it like that. It really does. The Cowboys are not quite there yet, but I think they'll get there because once they sign George Pickens, I just don't think you have to do too much more on offense. You got to go spend all that money on defense next year. And I think that's exactly what the Cowboys are going to do. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I think you're making a good point right here, Michael Postel. You got to be careful of how you spend the money, too. You got to make sure that you're not spending money on players that are at the end of a career. And the Cowboys are always, to me, they're always trying to find these players that may have a little bit more. They may have a little bit more left in the tank, and they'll try to spend that money. Mills 36 said, pathetic highest paid quarterback who can't get it done and foes in big sports, unlike Lamar, Josh Allen. Well, I don't know. You can't say Lamar. Mills 36, you can't say Lamar. The only person on that list that you really can say legitimately is Patrick Mahomes. I can't even understand why, unless I'm reading this right. 3-1 hot paid, pathetic, highest paid quarterback who can't get it done. He falls in big spots unlike Hurts, Lamar, Josh Allen. And I can't agree with you. The only two people who you can even remotely say that about is Hurts and Mahomes. What has Herbert won? Herbert hasn't won nothing. What has Lamar Jackson won? He's got one more playoff game than Dak Prescott. He's won nothing and been on better teams. Josh Allen has been crowned for years as the best quarterback in the league. In the grand scheme of things, what has Josh Allen done? He's done nothing. Yeah, Ron Hanna said a waste of money on Fowler. Yep. Murray. Yep. Sanborn is straight robbing us. I didn't even see what Sanborn's contract was, but I don't think we paid him a lot. Yeah, I don't think he paid him a lot. Yep, 4 pockets. I agree with this too. Don't pick up any more rejects from other teams. Don't do it. Yeah. I'm being serious, Mills, and I respect what you're saying. I wasn't with paying Michael Parsons that kind of money. I'm not mad that they didn't pay him. I wouldn't have been mad if they paid him because I'm not against anybody getting paid. I'm not mad at them not paying him on that though. Ryan Hanna, he said it looks like, yeah, G, it looks like it looks. It's trash. Yeah, I'm telling you, defense, I can't make heads or tails of it, man. It's just, all I can tell you is it's bad. That's all. It's bad, that's all I can tell you. But I can tell you this, I just don't know what we're going to do because when we start talking about getting rid of players, okay, who are you going to get? I mean, you start talking about defense coordinators, who are you going to get? What's the answer? You let White Cotton take it over for the time being? And then y'all will really be mad if White Cotton does halfway decent and then they promoted White Cotton to the defense coordinator. We want that. Somewhere in here, the Cowboys are going to have to stop changing defense coordinators. And whether it's Matt Eberflus or somebody else, where do they stop? Where do they stop? You're just going to keep having first-year defense coordinators. Who are we going to get? Somebody got to help me. Who do you get? Because if you're going to change coaches, you got to have a plan. Who do you get? I just say we got to live where we are until it changes. We are an offense that can score points, and we're just going to have to accept the assignment. That's who we are. Dwayne Nickerson, I think this is a problem for a lot of people. A lot of these teams, these analytics. I thought we were done with this. Mike McCarthy is a huge analytic person, but here we are again. Michael Postal. Man, let me tell you something. Boy, Rex Ryan has been crying for that job, hasn't he? I tell you this, I would go out on a limb to say this defense would be better with Rex Ryan. I would agree with you on that. I think this defense would have been better with Rex Ryan. I do. Four Pocket said we miss Michael, but I believe Jerry will win this trade, and we might not see it this year. Yeah, I agree. It's going to take about 3 years to see who won this trade. And as a matter of fact, they both may have won this trade. Green Bay in the short term, Cowboys in the long term. But again, I can tell you this. I'm not going to get myself worked up over this Cowboys defense. I've just accepted what it is. It stinks. Yeah, Rich Lord, I said the same thing. Rex Ryan, I think the defense would have looked better with Rex Ryan. And if the Cowboys were to let go of Matt Eberflus, they might let Rex Ryan come in and get it. He lobbied for the job. He lobbied for it. I like Rex Ryan's philosophy. He don't go out like no sucker. Rex Ryan is going to go out swinging. He going out swinging. Yeah, Mills, I said this earlier. Cowboys are holding Pickens back. They're holding him back. I thought this game I thought they should have fed this dude. I thought they should have fed him against the Broncos, and I think they probably would have came out better. Ron Hanna, all the money's on one side of the ball. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree when you think about it in the grand scheme of things. All the money's on the other side of the ball. Angie's right. Yep, they're cheap on defense. But let me push back on this. So Ron Hanna. So based on what you said, based on what Angie said, based on what people have said about Michael Parsons. So if the Dallas Cowboys are cheap on defense, how does that not affect Matt Eberflus? How does that not affect Matt Eberflus? I'm just asking to be objective. How does that affect Matt Eberflus? I mean, I just think we be saying, like, we're saying Matt Eberflus is terrible. But then we're saying, but Jerry Jones is cheap on defense. He traded Michael Parsons. They don't run I mean, which one is it? Is it both? Because one of these you're going to have an argument on it. Because if I'm Matt Eberflus, this might be my argument. Look at the players I have. And I did make this argument earlier. Look at the talent that Brian Schottenheimer has on his side of the field, and look at the talent that the talent that Brian Schottenheimer has on the offense. Look at the talent that Matt Eberflus have on the defense. I'm sorry, Brian Schottenheimer's winning on that side of the ball. This is a tough one. All I'm doing is preparing myself. I'm preparing myself. I'm preparing myself if the Cowboys keep him. I'm preparing myself if the Cowboys let him go. Michael Postal, Brian Flores, he'd be a great coach. I don't think Jerry would let him come to Dallas. He hard, man. Brian Flores, he's great, but he's hard. Shoot, Brian Flores is a hard coach, man. That's why I don't know if Jerry will let him come here. Brian Flores, shoot, boy, he hard. Now Rex Ryan, I think that Jerry can handle Rex Ryan. I don't think he's as hard as Brian Flores. I think Brian Flores is a hard coach. Dominique Pittman, Rex Ryan is a straight up hater. He's been out of football for a while. He'd be better than Flus. I thought he would have been better than Flus when he was asking for the job. Yeah, Tony Price, I made this point earlier. I just didn't understand why the Cowboys went and got him. A lot of people were talking about how good he was, and I was like, maybe my definition of success is different. Ryan off. Zimmer was not going to do. Now we know. Zimmer was not going to be a defense coordinator for the Cowboys. Zimmer wanted to be the head coach of the Cowboys. Yeah, Reginald Trudeau. That's the problem with this team. They want puppet coaches. I still give Brian Schottenheimer some credit, though. Brian Schottenheimer is doing his best. He's doing his best to be who he is. And I think he's done a good job of it. And I think the only thing that's holding this team together is Brian Schottenheimer. I do. I think he's holding it together. I absolutely do. Rich Lloyd said, I just want Rex for the philosophy. Flus has the wrong philosophy to complement this offense. I think he's too laid back. Yeah, I think he's too laid back. I do. I think he's too laid back. Like I said, I can agree with a lot of things y'all saying about the defense. If you want to tell me they're cheap, I'll agree. If you want to tell me it's a scheme, I'll agree. But I do think some of this is the players too. I think some of this is the players. Because we're saying stuff and it's like, let's just kind of get it consistent in how we're saying it. Matt Eberflus is terrible. The Cowboys are cheap on defense. So that means the talent level on defense isn't high. So what is it? Matt Eberflus or the players? Matt Eberflus or the talent? Or are you telling me it's Matt Eberflus and the talent? You're telling me it's both. Okay. I'm just saying, man, it's this defense, I can't figure it out. All I can tell you this, I can agree with y'all on this. We got to fix it. Got to fix it. Mills said he lost confidence in Brian Schottenheimer. Man, Mills, he's coaching scared on the road. At home, he looked like a whole different coach. Bam Bam Gaines, he told us it would happen. We had a heads up. Newhouse, yeah, he signed Paris Campbell instead of getting Keenan Allen. But you know what? I'm not mad at the whole Paris Campbell thing because we got George Pickens. So I'm not mad. 4 pockets, okay, I can go with, you said both. Okay. Rich Lloyd, I said the same thing. They were terrible last year. People don't want to hear that part. They were terrible with Zimmer. Now, Zimmer got better towards the end, but it was still bad. A lot of people don't even realize Mike Nolan got better towards the end. Now, I would like to go back and see who Mike Nolan played. But Mike Nolan got better towards the end. Yeah, Gabriel, I can agree with you on that. The front office but hey, I'm not gonna say they put the entire defense together. The coaches had something to do with this too. Because if you don't think Jack Sanborn is Matt Eberflus, I don't know what to tell you. That's Matt Eberflus. And again, it's not all bad. Solomon Thomas has been great. Lock and D. Yeah, I'm telling you though, I don't think they let Flores come in here. Rex Ryan, maybe. Flores is hard though. Ron Hanna. This is all I'm saying. People can love it, like it, or hate it. I'm living in reality. I know what this team is. I'm just not going to sit. I'm not going to continue to cry about the defense. What good does it do to cry about the defense when they're terrible? Bam Bam Gaines. Bam Bam Gaines, I might need to re-release that video because some people don't realize they're saying this based on what we see now. Bam Bam Gaines, I said this way back on that video. I said it. You need super studs on those types of defenses that Matt Eberflus wants to run. We don't have super studs. We don't. We got them on offense. We just don't have them on defense, and that's where you need them. Yeah, that's what I said, Mills. Just draft all defense. Draft all defense, free agency, go all defense. Simple. Yeah. And man, I'm telling you, people said this dude's scheme was supposed to be so easy. It can't be. It can't be easy because, boy, this team is struggling with it bad. And 4 pockets, I do think Brian has been trying to do some of the stuff that Jimmy does, but I mean, Jimmy did. Y'all got to understand, the rules have changed. Jimmy Johnson might not fare as well in this day, in this NFL. This NFL is different. You can only hit so many days a week. You can only practice so many days. You can only do so many things. Man, it was a different era, man. It was a different era. I don't know if Jimmy would be able to do some of the things that he did in the 90s with this team. Y'all got to understand something. Jimmy operated without a salary cap. I don't know if Jimmy, man, I'm telling you, I love Jimmy. There'll never be another coach like him. But man, that was a different era. Jimmy didn't have to deal with salary caps. Jimmy didn't have to deal with, I mean, even Jerry was letting him have carte blanche on how he ran the team, picking his staff, everything he did. Understand. This isn't the same era. It's not. All right, guys, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to see how I'm feeling tonight. We had a couple of more sections that I wanted to cover, and I'm not sure I want to let these go until tomorrow. So we'll see how this game ends tonight, and we may try to come back for Cowboys After Dark, but if we don't, we'll be back tomorrow. True Texan, I appreciate you. Facts is what it is. We are stuck like Chuck, bro. I'm telling you. That's why I'm just being honest with y'all. I'm just not in the complaining business. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. And I'm just telling you the truth. The defense stinks. And I just don't know how much we can change it until I see what we do by the trade deadline. Because I think it's going to take multiple players. Mills 36. I'm telling you, I did a video on this. I told everybody, do not expect Brian Schottenheimer to be 50-50 run. People thinking he was going to be 50-50. No, I told people he was not going to be 50-50 run. I told people this. When Brian when he has talent to throw to, Brian's throwing to him. Dak fan for life said, not only is Jerry going to fire Eberflus, not only is Jerry not going to fire Eberflus, he will be here next season as well. We've already heard that Jones is talking about having 3 different defense coordinators in 3 seasons. Dak fan for life, I said that. I said that. People don't want to hear those parts. People want to hear themselves say the Cowboys defense is bad. Okay, you heard yourself say it. It don't change it. Don't change the defense is bad. We just got to wait and see what they do with the trade deadline. See if they can move the needle a little bit. See if they can get the defense above. See if they can get it above below average. I don't even say average. Can you get it above below average? Can you get it to 28, 20, 27? Man, I think if the Cowboys get this defense to 27, 25, I think they could do something. We'll see at the trade deadline. I'm still holding out hope. Me and Lock and D. Lock and D, I think we the only ones holding out hope. I'm holding out hope for Max Crosby. Now, whether we get him or not, I don't know. I'm holding out hope for Max Crosby. And the Cowboys are going to need to make multiple moves at the trade deadline if they really want to make some movement on this defense. Newhouse fam, we going to see. Boy, if I was a gambling man, Newhouse fam, they're going to do something. They're going to do something. But I'm going to tell you this. They may be preparing us that it may be small, though. Because I'm telling you, they swung for the fences and they missed. Yeah. Bam Bam Games, I like what you said. Some great takes in the chat. All of us are probably a little right. Yeah. Yeah, I do. I agree with you. But again, like I said, man, I told y'all this. The Cowboys are going to flash, but they're going to need another year to build the team the way they want it to be built. They focused the free agency on cheap defense. The trade market, they went for George Pickens because they already had CeeDee Lamb. They got Tyler Booker in the draft. So the Cowboys improved their offense so easy because they already had the quarterback, already had a wide receiver, already had a tight end, already had some pieces on the offensive line. The offense didn't need as much work. The problem is the defense needed a lot of work. And I also think what shocked everybody is that maybe the defense wouldn't need as much work if Michael Parsons was still here. But now that Michael Parsons is not here, now it's basically you're saying you're just gonna have to blow it up with the exception of the players that you've already signed the money. I mean, I've already went over that list. But again, that's gonna do it for me. I'll see how I feel tonight if I can come back with Cowboys After Dark, man. My sleep is all back right now because I've been getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. So we'll see what happens. Until the next time, DC4L, God bless. Let's talk Cowboys and we talk facts. Peace.